awaiting the opening tip. Nick Anastas, Tom Bonneke, and the third member of our broadcast crew will be ready in just a moment. That's Kelsey Wright Johnson. Actually, we're rolling 4 deep today, Todd. We have 2 sideline reporters. Kelsey will be joined, of course, by Sydney. So Kelsey and Sydney are both working hard behind the camera and should give us some interesting insight here. But as you mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of athletes really on both teams. One that stood out is Brian Bridgeford. Athlete actually did get offered a contract in Japan yesterday as the result of a private workout. So he should be fresh and ready to go. But what are some of the other players that Coach Armstrong can lean on?
Well, we've seen so many different, and especially with his guard play, guys like Demetrius Floyd can be a big force. He's a Division I player from the great state of Texas. He certainly has the ability to do it. A good combo player at 6'7", and Jason Boswell, who will wear number 4. He's got a great opportunity to shine for Point Streak as well today.
Kelsey Wright Johnson is ready on the sideline. Kelsey.
Thanks, guys. For the Greek Connect, this is the first time this summer that they're at the championship game. And although they got the win yesterday, they were out-rebounded by World Vision 52-22. Coach Gabriel says today that's going to have to change. The responsibility will be on the guards to face up and box out. On the offensive end, they're still looking to get it into the bigs, even though they are missing 2 from their lineup due to injury. But he says with players like Jeff Kobe and Quincy Skates, they're still going to have to get it in because they do have that size advantage still. Guys, back to you.
Well, we're about ready to begin here. Second game of the final day of this Global Basketball Summer League. Session A wrapped up on Sunday, and Session B's championship is actually not the final game of the day. There'll be 2 others following suit. Todd, who do we have officiating? A 3-man crew, all aspiring to eventually end up in the NBA.
Guys behind the whistles today, Robert Hussey, David Walker, and Robert Vasquez, the 3-man officiating crew for our championship game.
Crowd still filing in a little bit. We will see the late arrivers, I'm sure, continue to filter in throughout the first quarter. Game time, 11:30 local. That's a little bit earlier than we've been accustomed to playing. The last few games, the second game of the day has started at noon. So a little earlier start, trying to get folks into the gym and excited. A lot of scouts here, of course, in Las Vegas, not just for this Global Basketball Summer League, but of course the NBA Summer League is down the street at the Mack Center, and basically the mecca of the basketball world, at least for this week, is here in Sin City.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and if you're a big-time hoops fan, you're in the right place. And if you want to absorb some great basketball, the Thomas and Mack Center or the Cox Coliseum, also those 2 arenas down on the south side of Vegas by the airport are exhibiting all the great NBA teams. And then you come up here to the north side and you experience the Doolittle Community Center, and you have an opportunity to see a lot of these guys. You know, some have already played professional ball, others are aspiring, some are just right out of college. Others play for some smaller schools that you never heard of around the country. They're trying to get their name out nationwide and making sure that they're in front of the right eyes. And then, of course, you have some guys from the big Power 5 conference schools that are also here and looking to show that they can be a big-time team player. It's a lot about the individual, but I guarantee there's also a lot about the team effort this week. We've seen it in the last 6 days, Nick, and as a team, I guarantee you as well, they want to win a championship and show that they can do it as a unit. And so there's a lot on line in this basketball game.
Championships always look good on the resume, don't they,
sure.
Todd? So
definitely.
No lack of motivation for this one. Coach Gabriel, Coach Armstrong should be able to just concentrate on the X's and O's and certainly not have to worry about motivation. Coach Armstrong, he's got a little bit of a staff. One guy to his right. And that's a pretty good guy to have. That's Ricky St. George, one of the finer coaches in this tournament and also active behind the scenes as well, part of the organizational element that goes into Daryl Reshaw and everyone else really at the front office, at the front of the line with the Global Basketball Summer League. All right. The Greek Connect squad is going to be the home team. They'll wear the white jerseys, while Coach Armstrong's Point Streak squad will wear the black jerseys. Greek Connect left to right in this first half, while Point Streak will counter from right to left. Jumping it up, Deshaun Curtis, 6'7", 220 pounds out of the Slovakia Pro League for Point Streak. While Greek Connect center is Anthony Estes, also 6'7", 220, formerly of North Carolina A&T. Just about set to start. A couple of final issues here courtside to figure out at the scorer's table, and then we should be underway and ready to roll here in Las Vegas. Final day of this Global Basketball Summer League, 10th annual summer event. Started back in 2008 by Daryl Rishaw. Tip is won by Estes, and we are underway here in the Session B final. Greek Connect wins the tip. Point Streak opens up in a half-court man-to-man set defensively. The point guard is TJ Bates. He gets rid of the basketball. That sets up a shot from Vines, Cameron Vines, which rattles in and out. Point Streak runs the floor, and they get an easy two in traffic. Deshaun Curtis with a two-hand finish at the iron puts the Point Streak squad on the board first, 2-0.
Great athleticism, too. Take the rebound, figure out something off transition, and boom, find the streaking Deshaun Curtis for the little layup.
Vines up top, makes way, three up, in and out, no good for Brighton Hobbs. The offensive rebound, though, will send a player to the line. That is Estes, who is able to draw the contact after pulling in the offensive rebound, hit on the elbow by Deshaun Curtis. And he's got a chance to put Greek Connect on the board at the free throw line. They trail 2-0. Just under a minute gone by in this opening quarter.
What you like, too, about this event, you don't see a lot of hard fouls. You see a lot of softer fouls. They know when they're going to foul somebody, and they're not going to make it demonstrative. And that time, you know, the defender was kind of out of position, and he just kind of reached around, grabbed him around the waist, and made sure he was whistled. But it was more of a soft foul. There was nothing vicious about it that you may see in a more highly competitive environment.
Estes hits the first and the second. That's a good point, Todd. Not only have the hard, borderline flagrant fouls been avoided for the most part, but no trash talking, no chippy play. I think it's a testament to the fact that these are aspiring pros and they have respect for one another.
Yeah, we haven't seen many technical fouls either.
Right. Meanwhile, the three is up and in. That was Jason Boswell. He's had a great tournament so far. The Florida International product puts Point Streak up 5-2. Estes inside looking for his first field goal, but he's short on the right-hand jump shot. Little baby hook wouldn't go. Challenged there by Tevin Glass. And now again, Point Streak with the basketball, looking for their first two-possession lead of the ball game. 90 seconds in, they're in front 5-2. Meanwhile, shot clock inside of 10. Adonis Filer, who was the leading scorer yesterday for the Point Streak squad. He travels on the far wing.
Try to pass up top, squaring up his shoulders, looking for a little room that time was Tevin Glass. A little further out than he wanted, and I think some indecisiveness that time from Glass. Didn't know whether to put it on the floor and attack or spot up for that 17-foot jumper, and that cost him moving his feet, and a mistake called against Point Streak.
Here is Vines looking for Greek Connect's first field goal. Shot clock is at 9. One-on-one with Boswell here on the inner side. A little fadeaway off the crossover. That won't go. The tip is there, but won't go either. Colby stays with it and gets it on the third try. That's Jeff Colby, the 6'8 center out of Columbia University, the former Lion. He's got Greek Connect right back in the game, down only one. Meanwhile, Filer off the step, goes to the rim and draws a foul. Had a shot blocked by the second defender, Estes, but took it on the left elbow on the way to the tin. And two free throws coming now for Point Streak. First time Coach Armstrong's squad has gone to the free throw line. They lead 5-4, just over 2 minutes gone first quarter.
Aggressive dribble drive, too. And Filer celebrated his 24th birthday here in Las Vegas. It's fun to come to Vegas for any reason, but when you have a birthday and you're playing basketball in front of fans and all sort of onlookers that may get your professional contract, that'll give you some extra energy and get those veins pumping a little bit. He was our player of the game yesterday in their victory, and I'm sure he had a very nice night celebrating his birthday last evening here in Sin City.
He goes 1 for 2. He actually told us that he was going to hold off on the big celebration until
after the event.
Right, tonight, and hopefully couple the birthday with a championship here in Session B. So I like the answer. I felt like it was responsible.
Whether it went into execution or not, we'll never know.
Right.
But at least on paper, he gave a good political answer to that question yesterday.
That's right. Meanwhile, a stoppage here courtside as we figure out a scoreboard issue.
Adonis Filer played at Florida Atlantic University down in Boca Raton. So he went from Boca here to Las Vegas. And we talked a little bit on the air yesterday about the difference in environment as far as atmospheres and temperatures and the mugginess of southern Florida as far as opposed to the dry heat that you experience
Still
here
hot.
in Las Vegas.
It's still hot.
Yeah, heat is heat.
That's the bottom line. If it's 90 plus, it becomes uncomfortable, especially those raised in the Northeast like myself. Meanwhile, again, I think the issue here courtside is that points were given to the wrong team here. It should be, I believe, 6-4. Or is it 6-5? Greek Connect trying to say it was 6-5. They're going to keep it, though, at 6-4. I think that's right. They only had one field goal, right? In two free throws. Yep. Little hustle there from Anthony Verdew, the point guard, but he was wrong. It is 6-4. The officials now allow play to resume. Meanwhile, Hobbs, acrobatic attempt there in the lane. The ball gets stuck between the backboard and the rim. And they're going to put it now side out. After, what is that, a jump ball? I don't know, but Point Streak's going to have it. And again, they're going to have to reset the shot clock here with 2.5 minutes gone by in this first quarter. Again, it's 6-4 in favor of Point Streak, and they're going to have the basketball back. Now, here's Coach Gabrielle is going to institute the full court pressure here, it looks like, for the first time in this game. He told us earlier in the week that was kind of a team goal to get his guys to play more and more full court defense as the week went on.
Yeah, that's a lot of the European styles, too, and that's what he brings here across the pond to America. He coached in the Greek leagues, in the Cyprus leagues, out in the European areas, and he's trying to bring that idea to these guys so that they can understand that, hey, you may see that when you have opponents on the floor, and you may have to execute it if you're ever with a professional environment in Europe and have a chance to be a big-time player. So that's what it's all about, and a good opportunity to see if they can execute the full court pressure. But if you're going to institute full court press in a game like this, Nick, you better have a deep bench because you're going to be running a lot.
Right, both teams do have relatively deep benches, 10 and 11 players, 10 for Point Streak, 11 for Greek Connect. Finally ready to resume. Filer fires a three. It's off target, and it's out of bounds. However, it's last touched initially by the defense, then they just changed the call. So it will be Greek Connect ball. Coach Gabrielle up on his feet for the first time on the Greek Connect sideline. Well, Point Streak, they're going to throw a press of their own at the Greek Connect team for the first time, and they're going to clear it out. Here comes Verdew. Handles it easily over Filer. Now he's double teamed near side. Estes bails him out, spins into the lane, drops it underneath for Hobbs. Can't get the over shoulder shot, and it's saved by the defensive player. That's a nice heads up play by Demetrius Floyd to send it the other way. Now right to left, Filer going to slow down. His team leads 6-4. Both teams off to a little slow start on the offensive side. Good play there by Kobe came over from the opposite side of the paint to get a hand on it. And now Vines able to draw some contact and a foul against the defense as Filer tried to get his feet square, but was definitely moving there. 2 team fouls each way. Excuse me. And again, those just joining us unfamiliar with the Global Basketball Summer League rules, players are allowed 10 personal fouls each before they foul out, and teams are allowed 10 team fouls per quarter before sending the other team to the free throw line in a bonus situation. So a little different here. Guys are given a little more leeway, I guess, on the defensive end. Meanwhile, Verdew, tough fadeaway there. It's an air ball. And now a whistle coming the other way as the shot clock never reset.
Good open look, but an ill-advised shot and an air ball. We've seen a lot of air balls this week, and that's somewhat disappointing. You know, you guys have had some good open looks, and they just haven't concentrated enough. And a turnover at that point, and a good opportunity for Adonis Filer and this Point Streak team. They get right back into this game.
Off the fade, and there's a foul.
Well, Verdure challenged him that time, got a good piece of the ball, but also got a piece of the flesh. And a couple of free throws are coming up.
Floyd with a good move there. We can see the handle really with both hands when we're talking about Demetrius Floyd, 6-footer, formerly of Stephen F. Austin University, where he was a scoring guard, nearly 14 a game for those guys in his final season. Free throw will rattle in. Point streak matching their largest lead from earlier, 7-4. And now we get our first look, Todd, at Brian Bridgeforth, the 6'10", 225-pounder, formerly of Washington Adventist University. And he's the newest Japanese pro as well. Offered a deal in Japan yesterday as the result of a private workout.
Played his college ball in the Washington, D.C. area, and now he's going halfway around the world. And we'll figure out the Japanese culture rather quickly, I hope.
4 minutes in, only 4 points for the Greek Connect team. They only have 1 field goal so far. Hobbs, baseline drive, blocked from behind. The 5'10 guard stays with it, can't get it on the second try. Hobbs, now on an attack move, has Verdue, and there's the layup on the far side baseline. Nice move with the right hand.
Good idea that time to find an open man. Jeff Kobe on the assist. They found the baseline was open, and that time the layup by Verdue.
10 to shoot for Point Streak. Floyd off balance, missed it. And now foul coming on the rebound. It'll be a push against Point Streak. Foul, I believe, is going to go against Anthony Estes. Or nope, excuse me, it's on Bridgeforth. So he picks up his first after just checking in. 2-point game at 8-6 early on, nearly midway through this opening quarter. And we have our first timeout on the floor. That means we are about set to send it over to Sydney, if we can get the audio up here and ready. Sydney Carriel and Kelsey Wright Johnson are both working the sidelines for us today on Global TV. Let's send it over to Sydney when she is ready. Sydney.
Thanks, guys. Point Streak coach Ricky Cleveland George is assisted by Dallas Mavericks assistant coach Darryl Armstrong. And before the game, they told me that they are looking for the players to make adjustments on the court without the coaches having to tell them. They said scouts are looking for players to score, but also to be leaders on both sides of the ball. They told them in order to come out the winners of this game, they need to play solid defense. Guys, back to you.
Good stuff as usual down there on the sideline, and we're about midway through this first quarter. Session B Championship, the final day of the Global Basketball Summer League. Nick Anastas, along with Todd Banacki and a few others here in the stands. And as we've talked about, it's been a long week for both players, coaches, reporters, but it's been worth it for sure. Now 10 summers this event has been going on here in Las Vegas.
It tracks a lot, too, and don't think that it's not purposely set at this time of the year when the NBA Summer League is also going down, transpiring just about 5 miles to the south.
Not a coincidence. Man-to-man for Point Streak here on the defensive end, looking to protect their 2-point lead. It's 8-6, nearly 5 minutes into the game. Hobbs up top, squares up, right-hand shot, too strong. Offensive rebound, though, for Kobe. Another 24. Verdue into the lane, little hook. Finger roll, won't go. Rebound Boswell, quick outlet Filer. Filer the other way, no. Rebound, though, is there for Curtis, and his shot a little wild. Tried to draw a whistle. Instead, Greek Connect the other way, looking for the tie. Vines, long two, no. Tipped by Estes, rattles off the backboard. Finally, Bridgeforth has it for Point Streak. And Filer going to take a step-back three from the far wing. That one is short. Estes is there for the defense.
This is like playground basketball. There's no shot clock usage. They're not moving it around. They're not executing much. It's kind of free form, and both teams have had great opportunities, Nick. Nobody's finding the hole.
Shots won't fall. This one will, though. It's Estes turning to his right. Baby hook with the right hand ties the game at 8. 4 unanswered now for Greek Connect.
It's a great shot. I love it when forwards collect deep. And then in the block, they turn in that sweet hook. It's nearly unstoppable. He had the soft-handed touch from about 5 feet away.
Certainly an old-school move. Backdoor Bridgeforth. There's the dunk and the foul. Pretty pass from Filer. Tough angle with the ball coming from up top. But once Bridgeforth caught it, you knew it was over, and now a three-point play opportunity.
And once we praised Anthony Estes on one end, the defensive side, he kind of went napping a little. I don't know if it's 12 o'clock yet, But it's early in the morning still for a lot of these guys, and he lost somehow the big 6'10" star in Brian Bridgeforth. That was an easy flush.
But he could not hit the free throw. Rebound the other way. Verdue through traffic, going to pull it back out. 10-8 point streak, 4-minute mark, first quarter. Backdoor Hobbs elevates and misses the layup, but a foul on the way up.
Good two-man game with the little guys on the floor, one guard to another. The backdoor bounce pass, and Brighton Hobbs showing a little acrobatic move, kind of like a little Cirque du Soleil here in Las Vegas. And he couldn't connect, but he'll get a chance at a couple of free throws.
The 6-footer, formerly of Southwestern Christian University. You can tell he's got some ups and certainly is under control with the body, as we saw there, and switch hands from right to left to get the shot off. He misses the front end, hits the back end. Makes it a 1-point difference now at 10-9. Point streak now dealing with press as they look to extend their 1-point lead. Into the front court comes Filer, who was outstanding yesterday. 17 points in the first half of their semifinal victory. He's going to drive into the paint, picked up by Colby. Right-hand shot too strong, and Verdue comes the other way for Greek Connect. They want the lead. Up ahead, Hobbs explodes to the rim. Colby tip dunk won't go. Hobbs a third try, no, but a foul on the way up. Hit on the wrist by Boswell. And 2 free throws coming up. And Todd, Greek Connect really attacking the offensive glass here early on in this first quarter with 3:30 to go.
Yeah, offensively they're trying to run and gun with this point streak team. And that time again, utilizing their speed in the open floor with the guards. They couldn't connect on a couple of shots. A good opportunity, though, by Brighton Hobbs on the rebound. And going up, challenged by Boswell, got a piece of the arm. But second and third opportunities, if you keep the ball alive on an offensive possession, you get those second and third chances. It'll give you a good chance to win.
Yep. Meanwhile, substitutions. Coach Armstrong digging into the bench for the first time, taking out both Curtis and Floyd. And bringing in, let's see, I believe this is Anthony Woods Jr. Play the shooting guard spot. And also onto the floor is Chuck Ubuns out of Malloy College. 2 free throws are good. Greek Connect with their first lead, 11-10. Just over 3 minutes to go in this opening frame. Three-pointer Filer, near wing, no. Tipped on the weak side, and a foul is called on Bridgeforth, his second.
Oh, he didn't like it. You can see the scowl on his face. He thought he had really good position. The official on the baseline blares the whistle, though, against the big fella. And he's clocked with his first foul off the bench today for Darrell Armstrong's point streak crew.
He did not play yesterday, as we talked about in that semifinal win, because he was busy with a private workout, which resulted in a pro contract. He'll be overseas in Japan next season. Meanwhile, Colby, the former Columbia star, down the lane, no. Tip, yes, by Estes. Got it with the left hand. Great Connect starting to run the offense a little bit better now. It looks like, Todd, some of those shots that they missed earlier starting to fall here in the last couple of minutes.
And a lot going through Jeff Colby, and why not? He's been a superstar for the last 6 days. And, boy, that time he missed on a good opportunity, but the follow-up goes down, and Greek Connect expands their lead.
Foul on the floor here against Greek Connect. Now 6 team fouls each way. Again, the rule here in Las Vegas, each team is allowed 10 team fouls per quarter before the bonus situation kicks in. 13-10, and now what's this? We have another shot clock issue or immediate timeout? It's the latter. We'll take a break. 13-10. Greek Connect leading this championship game, Session B championship game over Coach Armstrong's point streak squad. And Coach Darrell Armstrong going to sit down with his guys and try and regroup here. They've gone cold on the offensive end over the last several minutes after grabbing what was a 4-point lead early on.
Yeah, they've had some opportunities. They just haven't been working well together. The chemistry just not right there for point streak, and it's certainly showing on the clock. And meanwhile, on the other side, Greek Connect has been a little more active. They have some good energy. They're getting second chance opportunities, Nick. And right now it's working in their favor. I think point streak is a favorite in this championship game, but don't count out Linus Gabriel and Greek Connect.
No.
He had a rough Session A, as we alluded to. He didn't win a game. He went 0-3, but now all of a sudden I think he's found the athletes he wants later in this tournament. And, boy, he has a great chance to go from the outhouse to the penthouse and win the championship here today.
There you go. And Darrell Armstrong as well was not with us in Session A, but he's made a difference, no doubt about it. since joining us here at the Doolittle Convention Center.
What an advantage for these athletes. You look over and you see a former NBA guard and now an assistant with a big-time NBA program in the Dallas Mavericks, and this is the guy that's your mentor for 3 days. That's pretty cool.
Right, certainly a perk for sure. All right, ready to resume. It will be Point Streak basketball. They're down 3, 13-10, just inside of 3 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Man-to-man half-court defense from Coach Gabrielle's guys. Handling the rock here is Tay Palmley out of Henderson State. He just checked in. Has a man on the weak side. That's Wally Hepburn, who's also on the floor for the first time. Has to hurry. Shot clock at 2. Hepburn looks inside, and Point Streak will not get it off. O'Buns could not spin quick enough to release that one just after the horn, so a 24-second violation, and that's got the Greek Connect bench all fired up.
Yeah, frustrated for Point Streak. I think they wanted to execute a design play out of the timeout. And once Wally Hepburn fumbled the ball down on the baseline, they had to recover. By the time he did, it kind of just threw the play off, Nick, and they were never able to finish on that execution.
Full court press now by Point Streak as they look to stretch the defensive floor. Left to right comes Greek Connect, looking for their first 2-possession lead here. Hobbs down the near side of the lane. Banker is good, and the foul. Boy,
Sweet
Brighton
move.
Hobbs starting to look good here. His second field goal, and he's back to the free throw line with his club up 5 now.
Caught it off that high screen, used the lane, and then his athleticism to get in the air, flip it off the glass, and get to the line.
Right-hander is up and good as it rolls in for him. 16-10.
He's a pro, this guy, Brighton Hobbs. He's played down in Australia with a team called Perry Lake in his pro career, so he's already got that under his belt coming here to Vegas.
Meanwhile, it's a 12-2 run. Bridgeforth trying to end it, and he does. Alley-oop. Two-hand stuff off the dish from Wally Hepburn. 16-12. Backdoor cut. There it is. There's the layup. It's Stephen Powell, who just checked in. One of the many guards, many 6'1", 6'2 guards on Coach Gabrielle's roster, very guard-heavy. And he provides some quickness and a nice left-hand finish inside to make it 18-12.
After a slow start, the pace on both sides has really ramped up a notch or two.
Shot clock at 5. Far side, stepping into the J as Palmley can't get it, but offensive rebound by Bridgeforth resets the shot clock. He comes with 90 seconds to go in this first quarter. Hepburn, right-hand dribble, looks inside. Bridgeforth, tough catch, layup attempt, rolls off the rim and out. Ball batted 3 times, knocked out of bounds in the near corner. And it will stay at this end. Last touch by Greek Connect.
There were 2-3 players for Greek Connect going after that loose ball against the big tall tree and Brian Bridgeforth. And lastly touched by Greek Connect just because of their activity. Nothing wrong with that. Outstanding effort to try to keep it alive. But Point Streak will have it, and they need points.
Coach Armstrong, meanwhile, all the way at mid-court here, directing traffic for his offense.
No coach's boxes here.
I guess not. Inside, O'Buns trying to use his side. Hook shot won't go, though. Estes is there to clean up the defensive rebound. Hobbs the other way. Again, Greek Connect looking to extend their largest lead. Here's Kendall Brooks. Back down, fades away, and gets a nice little 14-footer to roll for him. Largest lead either way at 20-12 inside of a minute first quarter.
The guard play for Greek Connect is very impressive, and, you know, you're able to put Anthony Estes along with Jeff Kobe in the mix in the front court, and this is a solid bunch.
Drive and kick. Hepburn's 3, though, an air ball. Kept alive, however, on the weak side there by Woods Jr., who just came on. Shot clock never reset. Quick 3 by Palmley, no good, and Greek Connect has another defensive stop. They've looked good. Final 25 seconds here and a chance for a double-digit lead. About an 8-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Shot clock is at 10. Hobbs, 2-man game near side, off the ball screen. Fade away, elbow J, too short. Rebound Bridgeforth, 10 seconds to go. Shot clock is off. Bridgeforth to the rim is fouled. Was he fouled on the floor or in the act of shooting? Hobbs wrapped him up from behind. Let's see what the call is.
Well, he was definitely, I think, in the act.
Yep, they're going to say so. So 2 shots coming for Bridgeforth. And a good opportunity for Point Streak to cut the lead down to 2 possessions before the end of the quarter.
About the headband style, he looks good. Brian Bridgeforth, both with his athleticism and his style. He's got the white headband tied around him. He's kind of looks like he's on his way to be a Japanese type.
A sensei or something.
Sure.
Samurai.
Daniel-san.
He's got also the long, what is that? The legging, the white legging, only on one leg though, the left leg, which is a little interesting as well.
And the blonde hair look. I mean, he's got style. There's no doubt.
He can't hit either free throw though. Offensive rebound won't go. Hobbs up ahead the other way, and they're going to call an offensive foul at the buzzer. Kentrell Brooks, a little out of control. The former Marist College forward ran right into the defender to pick up the offensive foul. They may add some time here. The horn sounded, but the whistle came first. So let's see what the officials want to do.
Less
They're
than a
gonna
second.
Point, 0.2, 2/10 of a second. Yeah, we'll wait till the quarter. So basically, Todd, this is just a formality at this point. Yep, because you can't even tip it in with less than 0.3 on the clock. So that will do it for the end of the first quarter. Greek Connect, after a slow start, able to rally on both ends of the floor and build up what is an 8-point lead at 20-12. Nick Anastas, Todd Bonneke, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and Sydney Carriel, who is standing by and ready to go. Sydney.
Thanks, guys. Dallas Mavericks assistant head coach Darryl Armstrong is frustrated with his team. He told them, if you can't listen and follow directions, you won't be able to play in any league. He stressed the importance of getting rebounds and manning up on your men. He said, if you can't play defense, we're not going to win this. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sydney. And, well, as we get set to get this going yet again, the Point Streak squad, who looked so explosive over the previous 2 days, really just stuck in the mud offensively. What's the issue, Todd?
Well, very similar to what we saw earlier with teams that just aren't working well together. And they've had opportunities, but the execution isn't there yet for Darryl Armstrong's crew. And they've tried some design plays. They've gone awry. They've had opportunities, certainly in the paint. But credit Greek Connect. They look a lot more composed, if you will, than Point Streak, and right now they're doing some good things. Their energy level is high. They're playing solid defense. They're attacking and crashing the boards on misses, and they're playing a lot better as a unit. And right now it's shown. Point Streak has a lot of the cogs to come right back into this game. And as we approach the second quarter, I expect them to make a nice run.
Both teams have really gotten after it defensively as well, trying to pressure the entire length of the floor, and that will be the same attack mode here to begin the second quarter as Point Streak has the rock. And now we have another shot clock issue. That has been a consistent problem, unfortunately, here all week, is some of the electronical equipment a little outdated and a little tricky to deal with. Staff certainly working hard, but unfortunately, sometimes it interferes with the flow of the game.
Well, there's no doubt. Everybody has to adapt and just take a deep breath, relax, and focus on what you have to do.
Yep. Point Streak trying to space the floor. They got to hurry a little bit here. 10 to shoot. On the near side, it's Woods Jr. Inside, Bridgeforth. Back up top. O'Buns, left-hander, short, never hit the rim. Followed up there by Boswell. That won't go either. Finally, the defense with the rebound. On the run comes Brooks. Brooks missed it at the rim. And now another quick outlet the other way. It's Hepburn. Steps into a long two. No. O'Buns. No from inside. Third try. No for Pomley. And then it's swatted out of bounds. Lid on the basket right now. These guys can't buy a bucket.
And a lot of them are bunnies, too. I don't know what's going on. But, boy, those are shots they normally, throughout their careers, Nick, make in their sleep. And they're just not executed. There got to be some butterflies in their tummies, and that's got to settle quickly.
I was about to say that.
You only got 40 minutes, but
right.
Something's showing for Point Streak. It's just not working right now.
Right. Maybe a little over-anxious here in the championship game. Turnover. Skip pass. Intercepted. Curtis with an ill-advised look across the lane, and Powell with an easy interception. Now Powell the other way, left-hand dribble, crossover at the free throw line. Kicks it out far side, it's Verdue, a three, no good, side iron, rebound Bridgeforth.
Good execution by Connect. All you can do is try to draw up the play and let players have to execute, and that was a good open look. Verdue couldn't hit the shot.
Just over a minute gone, second quarter. Inside, it goes to Glass. Little fade, no. Tip, no by Curtis. And there's Estes on the defensive glass for Greek Connect. Looks like Verdue is fouled here in the backcourt, slapped across the face. Looked like he was poked in the right eye.
And Brian Bridgeforth just didn't get out of the way. His arms were kind of flailing towards Anthony Verdue and knocked him right in the eye, just like the old Three Stooges bit.
Yeah, it's got to be painful. It looks like Verdue's going to tough it out, however. And
Point
stay
Streak
on the floor.
is taking a ton of shots in this game. Their percentage is probably somewhere in the 30s at this point. Yeah, they've had their opportunities, but boy, they're just not finishing.
Meanwhile, again, a clock issue with a minute and a half gone in this second quarter. We're stuck on our first quarter totals, 20-12 in favor of Greek Connect. Again, both teams playing for the Session B Championship here at the Global Basketball Summer League. Estes trying to go at Bridgeforth. Off-balance shot, though, no good. Good defensive play by the center for Point Streak. Point Streak now right to left the other way. Little fadeaway is up and good from the elbow.
Anthony Woods Jr., good
Woods
look.
Jr., yep, one of two number threes.
Yep, freed himself at the foul line, and that time he was able to hit.
Quick rebound the other way off the miss for Glass. Now Bridgeforth with a leaner, and when short off the front iron, tip back out to Powell. Greek Connect thinking about running. They don't have the numbers. They'll shoot anyway as Powell misses the 15-footer from straight away.
Not a good
now
shot.
Coach Armstrong tells his guys he wants to slow it down. Down 6, 20-14.
Powell had a good look, but there was nobody with his same team jersey underneath, Nick, and that's not going to work. They cleared easily, and nobody for an offensive rebound.
Woods leaves his feet, jumps it underneath to Curtis, and he's fouled. Shot blocked near the rim, but a little bit of body there from Estes, who picks up the foul. First team foul against Greek Connect, coming with 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Coach Gabriel's guys still stuck on 20. They do lead, though, 20-14.
But they haven't scored in the first 2.5 minutes, and some ill-advised shots. I think he's got to regroup with his bunch and figure out what they want to do. Meanwhile, Point Streak trying to get a little more active and find their open looks. I think they've relaxed a little bit more than that first quarter, and they're starting to inch their way closer with a 3-0 run.
Yep, trailed by as many as 8. They're within 5 at 20-15. One more coming for Deshaun Curtis, who's a professional from Slovakia, or at least he played pro ball at his last stop in the Slovakia Pro League. Missed the second off the back iron. Rebound to Vines, who just returned for Greek Connect. They're up 5 here, looking for the first points of the second quarter. Vines to the hole, can't get the right hand go. Challenge there by Curtis, and now the other way comes Filer. Point guard who can score out of Florida International. He's going to pull it back out. Florida Atlantic. 10 to shoot. Vines just turned 24 yesterday. Off the crossover around Kobe to the rim. Right-hand shot won't go, though. Challenged by Curtis. Out of bounds, off the miss. It will stay at this end, and a new 24 coming. 20-15, Port Streak trying to make this a one-possession game. Filer near side, guarded by Vines. He wants a ball screen. He splits the defenders, and he draws a foul from Kobe, who came over and got him midair.
Yeah, I like the rotation over by Jeff Kobe. Good idea. Tried to challenge the penetrator, went at him, went right into his chest, however, and this guy, Adonis Filer, knows how to draw the foul, stay within his own body, and figure out a way to get to the free throw line. Good idea by Kobe. He thought maybe he could tie him up, but the body blow was there, and that was an easy whistle to send Filer to the stripe.
He's got the first. Just 2 points so far in this first half for Filer, who had 17 by halftime yesterday in the semifinal.
Boy, he did it all. He was electric as a point guard. He was in command. He was mature. He was a leader. He was distributing the ball. He was saving it for his team, giving them second chances. And, yeah, he was aggressive to the cup. And, boy, he was, to me, the best player for them yesterday.
Absolutely. Goes 2 of 2 here. Point Streak within 3. Greek Connect finally gets their first field goal since the first quarter. That is a right-hand finish from Quincy Skates. out of the El Salvador Pro League. 6'6", 225 gets his first basket.
Well, they're from around the globe here this week, aren't they?
They really are,
El
all over the
Salvador.
map. 8 to shoot here for Point Streak. He's got Coach Armstrong in his ear. Glass trying to go at Kobe on the near block. Kobe playing it straight up, forces the miss, and the weak side rebound goes to the defense.
I like it. Good no call.
Estes to Vines. Vines to the rim. Can't get it, but a foul. Able to sail towards the cup there with a right-hand finger roll attempt. Nearly got it to go. The bump on the elbow forced the miss, but 2 free throws coming. Nearly 4 minutes in, second quarter. 5-point lead for Greek Connect, 22-17.
And he played in the Spain Pro League, this guy. Cameron Vines went to St. Joseph's College. So we have guys on the floor that have played in El Salvador and played in Canada, played in Australia, and he with the Spanish League.
Yep. A lot of Globetrotters.
There are a lot of ways to make a buck around the
Certainly
world,
are.
and we've seen that throughout the week. These guys come from everywhere. Good looking,
Vines gets the
aggressive
second.
dribble drive, and he earned it. Boy, great
Yep.
play.
Yep, but only 1 of 2 at the line. Either way, his team up 6, 23-17. Pass tipped out of bounds on the far sideline. And we'll keep it here at this end. Coach Gavriel back on his feet on the Greek Connect sidelines. His guy's a little short. As well, they had, remember, a sharpshooter named Tipping in the quarterfinal round
Davison Tipping,
who
yeah.
injured his finger. He's got his fingers wrapped up on his shooting hand, his right hand, and he is on the bench in street clothes,
Boy,
not playing today.
He was a really good three-point shooter
He
for
was.
them. Great body. And on a play in the early part of this tournament, he jammed his pinky. It was perpendicular to the rest of his hand as he walked towards the bench. You can hear him writhing in pain. He actually popped that pinky back into the socket,
Yep,
Nick.
and finished the game.
He later found out that it wasn't just a jam, but it was actually broken. And unfortunately, that ends his run this week in the tournament. He was obviously highly disappointed that he couldn't continue to play.
He gets some style points, though, for finishing the game, I think, with the busted finger.
Oh, no doubt.
5 to shoot. Got to hurry. Skates for 3. No. Vines had the offensive rebound and then is knocked to the ground and fouled. Good hustle by Vines. And you're right, Todd. He's been impressive in this first half. Not just scoring the ball, but, well, making hustle plays like that one, for example.
Sure. The little intangibles that help the team win, keeping the ball alive, being a smart player on the court, and helping your team execute the plays to find points.
Meanwhile, Point Streak, they've stuck with this man-to-man half-court set for the most part in this first half. They've been aggressive on the perimeter. Meanwhile, Verdue trying to take advantage of a three-point opportunity. Missed, but there's Kobe on cleanup duty. A big two-hand flush down.
He's been one of the shining stars all week, maybe one of the top 5 players we've seen in the last 6 days. And very intelligent young man, an art history major, and he's painting a nice picture of his own, the chance to get a pro contract in the last week.
There you go. Meanwhile, foul on the other end. That'll send who? Filer right back to the line, where he just hit 2 a moment ago. He's 3 for 4 so far in this first half. Nick Anastas, Todd Bonacke, Kelsey Wright-Johnson, Sydney Carriel, and our entire Global Basketball TV media staff here courtside. Final day of this, over a week-long event, right? We got going last,
We
arrived, I
Wednesday.
guess. Wednesday,
But
right?
it didn't really get underway till Friday morning.
Right.
But yeah, we've been here so long we lose track of time.
Right.
Even the
And-
fact they don't put clocks in the casino doesn't matter. We still don't know what day or time it is out
Yep.
here in the desert.
Yep, of course the radio clock I have in my room doesn't work either, so it's a guessing game. All right, 25-18 after a 1-for-2 trip there from Filer. We're midway through this second quarter. Left to right, Greek Connect looking for their largest lead. They've led by 8 on a couple of different occasions, but never by 9. Speaking of 9, shot clock is inside of 9. It's down to 5. Vines a long 2, won't go. And an easy rebound the other way for Tevin Glass. He'll keep it himself. Right to left, Glass, the big man, all the way to the tin, can't get it there. The follow by Curtis, too strong. Tipped out weak side, and finally the defense is able to hunt it down. It's Verdue in traffic. He'll pull it out with a between-the-leg dribble.
Point Streak's first half in a nutshell on that breakaway by Tevin Glass.
Exactly.
They just can't finish.
Backdoor skates, left-hand finish. Pretty pass from Estes for the assist, and Coach Armstrong has seen enough. Timeout on the floor, largest lead on the board. Greek Connect 27. And a struggling struggling Point Streak team, just 18. They look so explosive in the semifinal victory yesterday that just 18 points nearing halftime is a big surprise.
Yeah, we don't have the stats, but I would guess they're shooting somewhere in the low 30s at this point and just not getting it to fall. The execution is there. The final chances to finish is not. But credit Greek Connect. They're playing extremely well as a club, and boy, it shows on the board.
Well, again, 2 sideline reporters today putting in work for the championship, Sydney Carriel, and here's Kelsey Wright-Johnson. Kelsey.
At the quarter, the Greek Connect was up, so Coach Gabriel just kind of reiterated the game plan. He said, use the bigs and get the ball into the paint as much as possible. They didn't touch a lot on defense because at the first quarter, they only let Point Streak score 12 points right now, only 6 points so far in this quarter, so defense not quite an issue. You're going to see a lot more on the offensive end, getting the 4 and 5, a ton more touches, and a lot more looks inside. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Outstanding as usual. Been a fun time working with Kelsey and Sydney and everybody else that has contributed here to this media event, or our coverage of this basketball event, I should say, the final day of the Global Basketball Summer League. And, well, a little unusual in terms of the scheduling. The championship game played early in the day. There's actually 2 other Session B games. The 3rd place game and the 5th place game are still to come here from the Doolittle Center.
Yeah, a little unorthodox. You'd love to see a nice climax at the end of the night with the championship game your last, but that's not the way she's drawn up.
Filer to Glass. Glass can't hit. Scrum for the ball. Glass going to stick with it. Had it blocked by Estes. And Vines try to power out of the crowd. Ball may have went off his sneaker. The officials don't know.
They should jump it up. All 3 officials look perplexed. The best one was on the baseline, the best angle.
Yep.
And that's Robert Vasquez, the NBA official on the baseline. I think he had the best look at it. But then when he looked for help to the sideline into the backcourt, the officials kind of stared at each other. And the right call here is a jump.
Yeah, the crew chief, Robert Hussey, trying to figure it out as well. And it looks like that's going to be the conclusion here. Yep, it will be a jump ball from midcourt. Still 27-18, 4 minutes to go until halftime.
Boy, I like that, though. The 3-person officiating crew conference, they got together, they discussed the situation. And in all honesty, if there wasn't 1 or 2 that got a good look at it,
right,
they did the right thing here,
right,
Nick, and that's jump it up.
And, of course, they're being watched as well. George Oliver, bigwig, so to speak, in the front office of the NBA officials. He's here. He's been here all week. And they've basically rotated 3-man crews to do each game, sometimes bringing in fresh referees at halftime.
Yeah.
All part of an evaluation process as these guys look to get to the NBA.
Yeah, we've seen different crews even do different halves. Absolutely, very unusual.
Tip is won by Point Streak. Filer off the crossover into a crowd. Bank there, no. Curtis stays with it and gets it with the right hand. Finally, a putback will go for Point Streak after several misses near the rim.
Yeah, that was the easiest shot of the day for Deshaun Curtis. And just calmly collected it, had plenty of time, and that time he finished down the hole.
Meanwhile, Ridge Shipley is checked in for the first time. 6-footer out of Cal Poly, who actually started yesterday's semifinal game. Estes looks for Shipley. He's closed out well in the corner. 5 to shoot. Skips it back near side. Kobe off the dribble. Up top, Shipley a clean look. And he beats the buzzer with a 3-pointer.
Well, that was from downtown San Luis Obispo, which is the city in California that Cal Polytech is in.
10-point lead. And a timeout on the floor. First double-digit lead on the board for Greek Connect. And their defense really has been remarkable in this first quarter. First half, I should say, holding Point Streak to just 20 points.
I like the way this guy, Gabriel, coaches, and you really don't get a chance to see their full resume and how it all unfolds, but you could see he preaches defense first, second, and third, and if you can do that consistently and bring great energy and play well as a team, he's shown it all week, even despite the fact that they lost 3 games in the opening week, and they didn't get it done. They have adapted well, and Coach Gabriel has really found a good team that he likes, and they're playing under his system. You give a lot of credit to the coaching staff.
Let's hear now from Sydney Carriel. Sydney.
During the timeout, Coach Daryl Armstrong told the guys they are not playing smart basketball. He said, "We're killing us because we're not thinking." Coach Armstrong told his team, "If you don't have a good look, don't take the shot and pass the ball." Both Ricky Cleveland George and Daryl Armstrong both agree that they're not finishing and executing the plays which they need to if they want to come out the winners. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sydney. Play resumes. Point Streak basketball out of the timeout. They go to Curtis, make that Glass, who lost the ball in the lane. It flies out of his hands, out of bounds. And it's right back over to Greek Connect. Stats coming up at halftime, Todd. I'm interested to take a look. A lot of turnovers, a lot of missed shots for Point Streak. They've just been miserable on the offensive end.
That time, though, credit the defense from Greek Connect. Anthony
Yeah.
Estes, Jeff Kobe, active with those hands underneath and making sure nothing's easy.
Shipley looking for Kobe there, but the two cannot connect. The other way, Filer in a blur to the rim. Going to stop. Finds Boswell to his left, who fires a three. That went in and out. Ball batted again in the lane. Curtis has it. New shot clock, and Filer will take a breath between the circles. 2.5 to go first half. Down by 10, Point Streak trying to get it back to a single-digit deficit, and they will here. A long two by Filer. He was their go-to guy yesterday, and he's starting to heat up a little bit here in the first half, late in the first half.
Yeah, and if you're Filer, you're saying, look, nothing's working in the middle right now, so let me step back a little bit, and we'll score our points with some J's.
Skates for Vines. Vines closed out by Filer, 10 to shoot. Trying to free himself up with the dribble. Now Shipley goes inside to Kobe, 5 to shoot. Bodied up by Glass on the far baseline, trying to spin his way out of a jam. Little fadeaway there, won't go.
Almost did. Tough angle fading away from the baseline.
Good defensive stop by Point Streak. Filer the other way, and he's fouled.
Great speed dribble, too. He went strong against Greek Connect's defense, and they'll get a little reach and foul.
And a foul on Shipley. That is his first. Just 3 team fouls each way in this second quarter. Filer, he's been busy, though, at the line. It seems like he's taken on that aggressive attack mode type approach here in this first half.
Yeah, that's what he talked about a little in his post-game interview yesterday. He says, I'm here to show my stuff. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to barrel right into the chest of these big, tall trees. And, look, I'm going to figure out ways to create opportunities for my team. If I'm unable to finish, I'll get to the free throw line and help us that way.
Coming up at halftime, Kelsey Wright Johnson will visit with Coach Linus Gavriel of Greek Connect. And Sydney Carriel will speak with Daryl Armstrong of the Point Streak squad. That's all coming up at halftime. Meanwhile, an and one situation. It's Tevin Glass. Able to corral the miss, finish with the left hand, was hit on the right shoulder. And a chance for one more, the East Tennessee State big man, who has played pretty well, especially on the defensive end in this first half.
Greek Connect somehow, someway fell asleep on the free throw attempt, and Glass was the aggressor, and how about that? Rewarded with a 3-point play.
And now 6 unanswered by Point Streak. They're back within 4 after trailing by 10 just a moment ago. Full court press here from Point Streak.
Got to bring it for 40 minutes. Can't get caught napping. Don't watch the paint dry, as they used to say in the movie Hoosiers.
Hobbs is back on the floor and handling the ball here on the near wing. Shot clock is at 10. Filer is up in his shorts. He crosses Filer over, goes to the 10, and draws a foul. Boy, that 6-foot guard is explosive, isn't he, Todd?
He's a jitterbug, isn't he? He's fun to watch.
That first step is exceptional.
He bounces off those feet well. He's got good body control, and he's got a mission as he gets into the air. And, hey, you know, if you can't finish, get to the line. He's a good-looking player, Brighton Hobbs.
Down to 90 seconds here, second quarter. Free throw up and good for Hobbs. That stops the mini 6-0 run from Point Streak and pushes the lead back up to 5 for Greek Connect at 31-26. One more coming. Meanwhile, some confusion here courtside. I think Hobbs thought the layup actually went. He was signifying and one, but the shot missed. So yeah. I'm not sure what he was seeing. Maybe hoping that it had gone in and assuming, but it did not. And now that he is officially corrected, he misses the second of 2 after hitting the first.
He may have just jinxed himself, too, getting off the line and trying to lobby, and he lost concentration, and he missed the free throw.
31-26 point streak, trying to make it a one-possession game, and they will. Here comes Filer, starting to heat up, Todd, right to the rim there off the glass.
Good-looking slasher, and once again, he's off his feet. Yeah, he has the vision to finish off the glass.
31-28, coming up on 1 minute to go in this first half. It's Brooks in some trouble. Brooks lost the ball, and now a foul at midcourt is called on Brooks. Well, one too many dribbles there, Todd. The extra defender came over and knocked it loose, and now Point Streak is going to shoot free throws. That is the 10th team foul, the majority of those coming over the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, they've
so
been
two
sloppy.
automatically here for Filer.
They've been a little sloppy, a little lax defensively, offensively, loss of concentration by Linos Gabriel's bunch, and Adonis Filer has stepped up his game as usual, as we've seen, and he's at the line as his team inch closer as we approach halftime.
Free throw up and good. We'll check the stats at halftime. Filer has put together a pretty solid second quarter and thus a solid first half. After a very slow start, really for both these teams, pace has picked up here a little bit late in the second quarter. 2-point game, 31-29. Inside of a minute. Hobbs here on the near wing. He calls for a ball screen. There's 10 to shoot. Whips it near side. Brooks to the rim. Floater. Short. Won't go. Rebound Glass the other way. Point Streak trying to run. Shipley tips Glass's pass. And then there's an offensive foul called on Glass, who collides with Shipley.
And Rich Shipley, undersized, did a great job to get a piece of the ball. And then the right call. I thought Shipley had the advantage, the shove off that time against Tevin Glass. And it was a clear foul despite the fact that Darrell Armstrong is demonstrative in front of us. And the coaching box to him is just a suggestion today.
Yeah, he's been all over the floor, literally pushing the boundaries as he sees fit. And I suppose if you're a longtime pro, you can do that, right? Played good ball with the Orlando Magic, was named the 6th man of the year and the most improved player in the NBA in 1999.
He was a journeyman. He went a lot of different places.
But productive wherever he went. Won a ring on the bench as part of that 2011 Dallas Mavericks coaching staff. I figured he'd have that ring on one of those fingers, but apparently it's in the trophy
Little
case.
flash and dash out here in Vegas. Why not?
Right.
It's probably safer, though, in Vegas. You're right, to be safely under lock and key. Huh?
Right. Meanwhile, 33-29 after both free throws go. Against the press. It's handled in the front court now by Curtis, who attacks Vines on the baseline. Little short there, and there's Kobe on the skying rebound for Greek Connect.
Important possession for them. They've been a little discombobulated, a little out of sync. They've got to get it going as we go to halftime.
About a 3-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Hobbs is stripped on his way up. Was he out of bounds? Yes, he was. I guess he stepped out before he lost possession. So Point Streak will have it. Shot clock is going to be turned off inside of 15 seconds to go in this first half. Point Streak down 33-29 and trying to close the gap as much they can before the halftime break. Filer. He's got the big man Kobe on him. A little bit of a mismatch here. Down to 5 seconds. Filer draws a double team, splits it, goes all the way to the cup. Little short, though, on the shot attempt. Rebound for Vines. Tries to beat the buzzer with a three-quarter court heave. That is short, and that will do it for the first half. Greek Connect leading this Session B championship game by the score of 33-29. Todd, both teams came out a little sluggish on the offensive end, but more so, I think we need to credit the defense really on both ends of the floor for playing hard and keeping this game low scoring at the half.
Yeah, that, and I think there was some anxiety on both sides, some butterflies in the stomachs. There was a lack of execution, not a lack of effort. They did go after the ball, but a lot of missed shots early, and Greek Connect, they were able to jump out. They were a little more in sync early in this game. You know, Point Streak had a lot of opportunities, but they couldn't get those opportunities to fly. In the second quarter, they started to calm down. They ramped up their game a notch or two. They got back into the contest. I think Greek Connect got a little lapse on both ends of the floor. Point Streak stepped up their game, and, hey, they've made this interesting now. Only a 4-point separation as we approach the second half.
It once was a 10-point game at one point with Greek Connect threatening to really break it open, but Adonis Filer came to the rescue of Point Streak and leads the way so far in the scoring column at the break.
Well, yeah, that, and he just does so much. But I think he was sort of that leader that rallied the troops, if you will, Nick, and got them to wake up a little bit. They started to play and feed off his effort, and the energy is picked up for Darrell Armstrong's team. I love the way they played in the second quarter. Now they've got to pick up from that and move into the third and right back into this basketball game. But, yeah, Filer is a leader. He's that floor general that you love to have, and he's been a big difference maker.
Now, Coach Armstrong, he's got his guys gathered around. Coach George is over there in the Point Streak huddle as well. What are they saying? Because, frankly, they just missed a lot of makeable shots, especially early on in that first quarter.
Yeah, and not only first shots, second and third opportunities that have gone awry. Little bunny layups, little stickbacks that didn't fall for them. And they just have to calm down, play within themselves, continue to believe in each other. And, yeah, there's nothing wrong with crashing the boards, but have controlled energy when you go up for those second and third opportunities. If they're able to do it, I think they have the horses certainly to come from behind and win this title.
It is the championship game, Session B, final day of the Global Basketball Summer League. It's been a successful week yet again. And when we come back, we'll check in with Kelsey Wright Johnson with Greek head coach Linus Gavriel. This is Global Basketball TV. Start of the second half here in Las Vegas. Nick Anastas, Todd Bonneke, along with Kelsey Wright Johnson and Sydney Carriel. Both coaches were just so involved in their team huddles that they didn't find any time to speak with our sideline reporters. So we'll try and get you an update as soon as we can. But you could tell, Todd, that both Coach Armstrong and Coach Gavriel are taking this championship game very seriously.
Yeah, they only have a 5-minute half, and they've used every millisecond of that 5 minutes to instruct their team on what they want to do and make the adjustments to come back here into the second half and figure out ways to do it. For Point Streak, it starts on figuring out ways to finish those shots. They've had way too many opportunities, a lot of second chance opportunities, Nick, but hey, only shooting 29% in that first half. That's not going to win a championship.
Yeah, they had 9 offensive rebounds, but you're right. A grand total of 8 of 28 through 2 quarters for Point Streak, who find themselves trailing to begin the third, 33-29. Both teams have really gotten after it defensively from a full court perspective, and that full court press remains intact to begin the second half. However, we have a stoppage in play here, another shot clock issue. It comes just 5 seconds into the third quarter. Just one player, Todd, in double figures to begin the second half, and that is, guess who?
Who else?
Adonis Filer. 10 points, 6 of those coming at the line.
Also helping the club with 4 rebounds, and we don't have assists. Those aren't right, but yeah, he's finding a way to help this team in a lot of different ways.
Shot clock at 2. Shot is wild, and that is a shot clock violation. Again, Coach Armstrong out there coaching up his guys, not happy. It looks like with the spacing on that previous possession.
Yeah, not a good start for Point Streak. They get the first possession out of the halftime update, and they turn it over without a lack of execution. Not the way they wanted to start the second half, down 4.
Greek possession, their first possession of this third quarter. Shipley, who played briefly in that second quarter, gets the start here at point guard. He avoids 2 men, comes back near side to Vines. Vines on a baseline drive. He's got it with the right hand.
That speed dribble, huh?
You're right, and he really maximizes his length, doesn't he?
That was tough, and boy, he just surged to the rack, a nice acceleration, and a pretty little over the lip and down the throat.
Well, Floyd eyes the shot clock. It's down to 10. His club down 6. He goes left side. Shipley's on his hip. Near side for Adonis. On the drive, Filer. He finds an open man, and there's Glass who knocks it down. Filer to Glass for 2. The big man stretching the floor on the baseline to make it a 4-point game again.
And that time, the shot goes down. If they can get those to go down, it may open up some things underneath. And I think that's where Point Streak has a pretty good advantage as well. But, hey, good start. Their first possession was a turnover. The second possession found the bottom of the hole. And I think that will get a cheer from Coach Darrell Armstrong.
Well, he's not very cheerful, or at least he has not been so far in this ball game. He's been very animated, we will say that. 10 to shoot now for Coach Gavriel's team, who watches quietly with his arms crossed on the Greek sideline. It's lobbed into Estes. He's double teamed. It's poked away and stolen. Glass gets it over to Filer. Chance to cut the lead in half here Filer, step back three, wants it, he won't get it, front iron, rebound Hobbs. Hobbs up the floor to a racing Shipley. Shipley to the rim, no. Hobbs to follow, yes, but.
On the floor.
Yep.
They'll call it before the shot.
And I think it was Shipley who was fouled or no? Yep, they're going to shoot two. It's on Filer. And will it be Hobbs or Shipley? It will be Shipley, so the foul before Hobbs even touched the ball.
2 free throws coming up.
Means that Shipley will shoot two, the Cal Poly product, where he averaged just under 11 points in his final season. Hits the front end here and pushes his club back up by 5. He didn't play at all in that first quarter. Didn't come in until about midway through the second, but he's been effective.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of time to sit and recharge that battery, and he's brought a nice burst of energy off the bench now for Greek Collect and Coach Gabrielle.
Minute and a half gone. Second half. 6-point lead for Greek Connect here in the Session B championship game. 37-31. Filer, the game's leading scorer, on the near side wing. Going to dribble up top with 10 to shoot. Wants to go at the big fella. Instead throws it away. Tipped and stolen by Hobbs. Hobbs to the rim. Hobbs left hand. Missed it. Tried to go up and under. Couldn't get it. Offensive rebound for Kobe. They're going to wave it off. We have a whistle. And now what's the call?
Foul down low against Point Streak.
Yep.
A shove.
It's on Curtis.
Deshaun Curtis. But boy, for Brighton Hobbs, he had a clear path, I thought, from the right side. I think he sensed the pressure from behind, Nick, and that's why he tried that wraparound layup, but he wasn't in the right position to finish that shot. If he goes straight up with the right hand from the right side, that probably goes down easily.
Yeah. Yeah, a little unnecessary, I felt like, to try and
take
it up and
circus
under.
shot. Yeah, it didn't work.
Yep. As a result, his club stays up 6. They do have the ball, though. Vines up top. Off the switch, he throws it away. Filer with the steal, 2-on-2. Filer leaves his feet and then nearly threw it away himself. Hobbs got his right hand on it. Fortunately, Filer able to recover and pull it back out. Now he's got Hobbs face-to-face between the circles.
Quite lucky. That
10 to shoot.
pass, he almost threw it away.
And he nearly lost it there off the dribble. Does save it, though. Palmley has it, has to race the clock, and the ball will not hit the iron. Instead, it's Kobe who comes down with it in the lane.
Quick hands from Kobe and Rich Shipley. They poked it away from the driving Filer to the goal.
Estes a drive and kick. Nobody home on the receiving end, and this game has turned a little sloppy here. 3 minutes into the second half. Still 37-31 Greek Connect.
Yeah, neither team executing, but boy, if you love good defense where you just figure out ways to poke balls away, Greek Connect putting on a clinic with the defense in this game.
Let's hear now from Sydney Carriel, who's on the sideline.
During halftime, Coach Daryl Armstrong told the guys, we aren't playing well, but only down 4 points. He said a few good plays and we're back in this. Armstrong told the guys, stay solid, and that'll get us right back in the game with some good, solid defense. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Sydney. Meanwhile, substitutions. Shipley going to check out. New point guard on for Coach Gabrielle's Greek Connect team. That's Anthony Verdu, formerly of Lincoln University, out there in your part of the woods,
Yeah,
right,
they're
Missouri?
the Blue Tigers, as they're known, out in
Blue
Columbia.
Tigers. I like that name. Meanwhile, Powell also returns. Stephen Powell, he's blocked from behind. It will stay, however, with Greek Connect on the other side for Point Streak. The big Brian Bridgeforth, the new pro. He's headed to Japan coming up in a few months. Signed a deal yesterday. Did not play in the semifinal win for Point Streak, but he's back on the floor.
And he's fresh. Let's see if they start to get down to the big fella, allow him to use his athleticism.
He was active on the glass in the first half, but did not contribute from a scoring perspective. Kobe, spin move. A little wild, though, on the shot.
Man, you got to finish that, huh? Great move, and just couldn't square up his eyes and knock it down.
Would have been beautiful. Instead, Point Streak has it, still down 6. Both teams been stuck in the mud offensively. Three-pointer up, no, but a foul. Boy, a little foolish there to try and block that deep three-point attempt by Powell as he gets the right wrist. And now 3 free throws are coming for Demetrius Floyd, the 6-footer out of Stephen F. Austin University. A chance to cut the lead in half if he can go 3 for 3 here at the stripe.
You see the frustration on the face of Stephen Powell. I don't think he thought he got a piece of him, but he was out of position. He tried to recover, and a little too late. And that little ticky-tack foul is in his pocket. 3 chances for Floyd. They need all of them.
Yep.
Down 6. Every point matters. It's a low-scoring affair.
Let's hear now from our other sideline reporter. That is Kelsey Wright Johnson. Kelsey.
It's second chance points like this you see at the foul line right now. It's rebounding that Coach Gavriel is stressing with his team. At the half, the Greek Connect players, Kentrell Brooks and Jeff Kobe, combined for 15 rebounds, but the team was still out-rebounded 24-22. Only 5 other players pulled down boards in that first half, none of them over 2. Coach Gavriel is stressing again how important rebounding is for the success of this team after losing a substantial first half lead.
Thank you, Kelsey. 39-33. Coach Gavriel clapping his hands, trying to inspire the defense as they look to sustain their 6-point lead. That's been the margin most of this third quarter as we head towards the midway point. Skip pass, Boswell open in the corner, and that 3 rolls around out and then out of bounds after Floyd is unable to corral the ball on the baseline. It's been one tough miss, Todd, after the other, really all afternoon here for Point Streak.
Yeah, they just had a lot of good looks, and they've executed everything but the finish, and that was a tough shot. A couple of laps around the cylinder and then popped out of the iron, and that's just bad luck for Boswell.
Inside, Kobe. Pump fake, left hand, no. Off the back iron.
He's missed a couple of bunnies as of late. I know he's challenging the 6'10 monster in Bridgeforth, but those are other shots that you got to finish down close.
There's Lewis on the near side. Just check back in. It's Martez Lewis, who didn't play much in that first half. Far side 3 on the way by Palmley. Air ball.
26 feet away. His feet were never set. That was a flat-footed 3, and he got what he deserved. Nothing but air.
Backdoor, Kobe for Greek Connect. One dribble, and there's the finish.
There you go.
The former Columbia Lion. He's been working hard, and he's rewarded there with 2. Lead pushed up to 8, largest of the second act for Greek Connect.
He's got the heart of a lion, too, on the floor, and I knew a guy like Kobe wasn't going to miss 3 straight shots.
Ill-advised one there from the top of the key from Floyd, and now a foul the other way as Greek Connect comes on the attack. We hit the midway point of the third quarter. Both offenses struggling a little bit, but Greek Connect, they'll take it. They're in front by 8, 41-33. At the 5-minute mark, third quarter.
And that was just a lazy foul from Jason Boswell. He knew he has 10 fouls to give. A little more, I think, than should be gifted in this tournament.
I had never heard of that. I'm not sure if they do that in the NBA Summer League or what.
It's almost unlimited for these guys.
And I understand it. You want to keep the guys on the floor as long as possible. Let the scouts.
But it also leads to fouls like that,
Yep.
where they know that they can stop the action with just a little shoulder or chest bump, and it's 1 out of 10. It's not going to really matter. Maybe nick it down to 8 or something like. Make it a little more interesting.
I agree.
Make each foul a little more worthwhile than what we've seen throughout the week.
I agree, and we've seen a lot this week here. 10th annual Global Basketball Summer League started way back in 2008 by Executive Director Daryl Reshaw. He's here. His staff is here. The scouts are here. The fans are here. The media is here. It's been one successful day after the other here at the Doolittle Convention Center in Las Vegas. And Todd, I've been proud to be a part of it. It's been fun all week here in Sin City.
It's been great for us. We've been a little media family. Why not? We've spent 10 long hours every day, not that many breaks here at the Doolittle Center, and we've gotten into our routines of getting up early, getting on that shuttle van out here by about 8:30, and then going home by about 6:30, and grabbing some food, a little entertainment, and wherever we can figure to slip it in out here in Las Vegas. And it's off to bed and off to the next day and off to a new day of fun and challenges out here. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I've really enjoyed making some new friends.
Here's Estes, long 2 as play resumes, had his foot on the 3-point line here on the near wing. And all of a sudden, Greek Connect is back in front by 10. That was their largest lead from the first half. Bridgeforth, 1 dribble, tried to cram it, but lost it on the way up. He wanted a foul, won't get it. Finds the other way. Nearly traveled.
Jeff Kobe's quick hands worked great on that play. And boy, it took Bridgeforth off his rhythm to the rack.
Yeah, Kobe's played an underrated game today. 3-pointer, Powell challenged and missed. Rebound, Bridgeforth, the big man with showing the handle into the front court, and then he had it stolen away. Verdue with the steal, 3-on-1, has Vines, and there's the stuff. Boy, his eyes were up near the rim as that right-hand tomahawk came slamming down, and just like that, the lead is up to 12. 45-33. Greek Connect playing with momentum and now going to play with a 12-point lead.
It's amazing when you get those hands active on the defensive side and you just get them in those lanes and force mistakes. That's what it's done, all set up by one of the veterans on this team, Jeff Kobe, whose defensive prowess has been real good. That time he poked it away from Bridgeforth in the open floor, set it in motion, got the fast break on the other end, and yeah, they know how to finish a 3-on-1.
And we've talked about how well Vines has played today. He's been impressive, and he shows the athleticism there with a highlight flush.
Just fun basketball, and boy, when you preach defense and guys answer the call, boy, coaches love that.
Yeah.
And I think Linos Gabriel has preached it all week with his teams. And hey, when they respond, it makes a coach look like a genius, doesn't it? 12-point lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, this has got to be riveting for Coach Gabriel as well. He had 3 really heartbreaking losses in Session A. His club went 0-3. He looked kind of dejected when we saw him Sunday night, but boy, a brand new roster comes in Monday. He gets a quarterfinal win Tuesday. His team rolls on in the semis, and they're looking good, especially, as you mentioned, on the defensive end here in the championship game.
You know, players get second wins, and so do coaches. And I think he knew his roster over the weekend in Session A just wasn't up to snuff. I think he likes his guys, and they're working under his system. And, hey, he's done a great job in 3 days to put it all together.
Yeah, he's going to throw a zone press here at Point Streak for the first time, or at least they showed a zone look. They're going to drop back now into a man-to-man half-court set with 4 minutes to go in this third quarter. We have a whistle here, and a foul is going to come against the defense. Just the second team foul of this third quarter for Greek Connect. Meanwhile, just 4 points in 6 minutes of second half action for Coach Armstrong's Point Streak team.
Yeah, where's the offense going to come from, too? I don't know that he has the answer to that question right now.
They put up over 100 yesterday, or close to 100 in the semifinal victory. Filer for 3, can't get it back iron. Long tip out, though, will restart the shot clock and keep the action at this end.
Good play by Tevin Glass, rose to the heavens, knocked it backwards and right to his teammate.
Now a screen and roll. Filer to his left, stripped in the lane. It was Verdue who poked it loose. Now Verdue to the rim, rejected by Glass. Good hustle by the defended center. And then a foul is called, or a jump ball. A jump ball, excuse me, here in the near corner. As Kobe was surrounded and tied up.
Adonis reaching in the corner.
Yep. And we'll actually jump this one up. Of course, it's NBA style rules, so.
I like the jump ball,
yeah,
too, don't you? I think the college game would add a little more spice if they went to the old jump ball.
I agree. It'll be
I know
Kobe.
the fans would be more engaged. I'd be more interested to watch some athletes jump center.
Yeah, I think there will be a lot of them, though, in the college game. That might be why the rule was implicated in the first place. Kobe's got about 5 inches on Filer, and he wins the tap easily. Greek Connect will keep it up 12, and here's an offensive foul.
I like it, too. He lowered his shoulder right into his chest. Filer stood his ground. He went backwards. That was an easy whistle and an offensive foul.
Yeah, Vines doesn't agree, but I agree with you. I think so, and doesn't matter what we think or Vines thinks. It's the official who blew the whistle that matters. So the ball goes to Point Streak. And, Todd, they need all the breaks they can get here. Down by 12, only 4 points since halftime. They've been struggling on the offensive end.
Robert Vasquez is the guy that blew the whistle. And if you watch after the play, the players are always asking instruction of why the whistle was there. And the officials oblige. They do instruct here in the Summer League and tell them what they did wrong.
Vines for 3, way off from that far corner. Estes has a man deep. It's Vines. Vines missed the dunk, but he was fouled. Hit by Filer on the left arm, missed the slam with his right, but 2 coming for Vines, who had just nearly brought down the house on his previous dunk attempt.
Yeah, and boy, I think he just got off his feet a little earlier than he would have liked and kind of went line drive style towards the rack. But, yeah, that was an easy dunk for Vines, and he knows he shouldn't have missed that play.
He's got kind of a sheepish grin on his face as he awaits the first of 2 at the free throw line. Vines, a guy who has played well really all tournament, I feel like. He's a pro, as we know. Played for CB Conenjeros out in Spain, where he averaged over 18 points, nearly 6 boards a game. So he's not only a pro, but he's an accomplished pro, looking for another gig here out in Las Vegas. And I'm sure if he doesn't have plans for the fall, he'll have made them quickly, maybe by the end of the night, the way he's playing. He's got the first free throw. Largest lead up on the board and potentially growing for Greek Connect. They're up 46-33.
His size makes him versatile, 6'4", 205. He can play that guard position, but he also has the ups and the ability, as we saw, to nearly jam it down.
And the wingspan, too. Those are long arms. 47-33. Coach Armstrong trying to find a way for his team to get into rhythm offensively. Floyd, the jump shot won't go around the rim. Rebound to Vines. Do we have a foul? Yes, we do.
Deshaun Curtis went around the body of Vines. He had position.
Yep. Didn't matter because Vines was able to pull in the rebound anyway, but the foul means 17 fouls have been committed now against Point Streak in this third quarter.
Sometimes those big guys are out of position. They still think their arms will be good enough to keep the ball alive. Not that time.
Vines to the rim, up and under for two. Another athletic finish, this time with the right hand off the glass.
Well, he's making a bid for player of the game if the score holds.
Yep. Vines was in the mix there defensively as Filer missed it off the glass. Curtis hit the ground, and we have a foul coming against Greek Connect.
It's on Jeff Kobe. Caught a little flat foot in that time on that aggressive dribble drive.
Yep.
A lot of athleticism coming to the body. He had to kind of guess on the play, guess the wrong way, and got a piece of the hand.
Kobe's third. Again, he's in no danger of fouling out. Each player allowed 10 fouls before you're disqualified. Free throw, no good, though, for Curtis. Boy, this has been the toughest quarter maybe of the tournament for any team, Todd. Just 4 points since halftime for Point Streak. One more for the big right-hander. That one will go. Brings the lead back within 15. Greek Connect in front 49-34. Pressure from Point Streak. Vine switches to the left hand into the front court. Avoiding 1, 2, 3 defenders. Leaves it up top for Kobe, who tees up a three. In and out, no. Estes to follow, no. Tip third time, no. Off the glass, out of bounds, and last touch by Point Streak.
Well, how about that activity? First, second, third, fourth opportunity, and none of them go down. But, yeah, tremendous play by Estes just to keep the ball alive and give his team second, third, fourth chances. And, hey, you do that every time, and sooner or later it'll work in your favor. You'll be rewarded.
Both Vines and Shipley check out as Coach Gabrielle goes back to the bench. Verdu off the screen, going to pull it out. Hobbs, one of the players who just checked in now with a handle between the circles. Leaves it for Estes. Estes down the lane, dumps it underneath. Kobe can't get the layup, but he does draw the foul.
Yeah, it was hell as he went up. His back was to the rack. He tried to circle around, and he was beaten on the play, the defender, and Jeff Kobe will head to the stripe and try to convert a couple of foul shots.
Look at Coach Armstrong. He is hot here at midcourt. Not happy with his players. And I don't blame him. Down by 15 is Point Streak. Kobe a chance to add to that lead for Greek Connect here. And he ices the first one, no problem. Meanwhile, back on Kentrell Brooks, 6'8" forward out of Marist College, going to give Estes a well-deserved break. As Coach Gabrielle continues to insert fresh bodies into the lineup. One more for Hobbs, the Columbia star. He's got that one as well. Largest lead on the board, 51-34. 2 minutes to go, third quarter. And now more full court pressure from the Greek squad. Broken left to right. Woods, no look for Curtis, up and under for two. That's a rare, quote-unquote, easy bucket for this Point Streak squad in the second half.
Executed well, too. And that time they used the baseline, the path was open, and boom, what do you know, an easy bucket.
Hobbs looking for Brooks, surrounded at the elbow. Able to control, but barely. Now out to Verdu. Shot clock at 8. Verdu looking off the dribble. Goes to the baseline. Little fade away. It's up and short. Ball tip. Brooks has it. Now a whistle and a foul coming. And it's on Greek Connect. We're going to go the other way.
Jeff Kobe was engaged down low against Tevin Glass. A loose ball foul and a chance for Point Streak to make some hay, down 15 points with a timeout on the floor.
Nick Anastas, Todd Benacki, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and Sydney Carriel. Sydney.
Down by 15, Point Streak's coaches Ricky Cleveland George and Daryl Armstrong told the guys the number one adjustment they need now is to be more physical on both offense and defense. Armstrong told them they're all doing individual stuff and it's not working. They need to start playing together. Guys?
Thank you, Sydney. Meanwhile, Filer with the bucket, Point Streak with the stop. Filer back the other way, and he lost the basketball out of bounds. It will stay, though, with Point Streak. Just over a minute to go in this third quarter. Session B championship game of the Global Basketball Summer League. Greek Connect on the defensive end leading 51-38.
Remember, this was a 4-point game at halftime.
Right.
They've ballooned it up. They've done a great job. It's all started on the defensive side of the floor.
Meanwhile, a foul drawn off the uptake by Curtis. Drew Brooks out of position. Brooks slammed into him, picks up the foul. That is the 10th team foul against Greek Connect in this third quarter, so it's bonus time, but it'll be a 2-shot foul on this one for Curtis, who's played pretty well. Got the start at center today for Coach Armstrong, and has certainly worked hard, Todd, despite the fact that that may not show up in the box score necessarily.
Yeah, they've done some good things, and you can't fault the effort today of Point Streak. They've
Right.
done a lot of what they've been instructed to do. I thought they got out to a sluggish start. They've never really found their rhythm today, and their shots just aren't falling consistently. Now, yeah, a lot of that has to do with the active defense of Greek Connect, but I think overall it's been a real frustrating day for the guys in black.
We are inside of 1 minute, third quarter. Verdue in trouble on that far sideline. He gets a whistle, and he draws a foul against Curtis, who's not happy. That is now the 9th team foul against Point Streak, so the next foul against the black team puts the white team at the line. Here's Kobe down the lane, contact, offensive foul. Yep. Outside of the restricted area and waiting was Chuck Obuns, the 6'5" Malloy College product, who was able to easily draw the contact there. Had plenty of time to set his feet.
And Jeff Kobe knew it too. A lot of guys understand this game. And he came right off his feet, and you could see in his face he didn't bark at all at the whistle. It was a clear offensive foul.
Meanwhile, at midcourt, Hobbs nearly a steal. Filer now harassed by Kobe, gets around him into the front court, 10 to shoot. Leaves it far side for Woods, who's out of bounds. His back heel was on the sideline.
We've seen that multiple times.
Oh, sorry, Todd.
I was going to say we've seen that multiple times. And, well, you catch in the corner, you want a quick rhythm release, and you just step back and clip that line, and it just thwarts the whole plan.
Final 30 seconds, third quarter. Again, Point Streak looking to trap here on the sidelines.
And we'll hear from Kelsey and Sydney coming up at the end of this period with live updates. Our two correspondents doing a knockout job today.
Yep, as usual. Hobbs has to hurry. He draws a foul. He split the defenders and drew the reach on O'Bunce, who gets an earful from Coach Armstrong here in front of us at midcourt. There's 15 seconds remaining third quarter, and both teams will be in the bonus for the final 15 ticks here, as it'll be 2 for Brighton Hobbs, who has played well and played pro ball, not only overseas, but way overseas, way down under in Australia.
You can see it. He's got game. He has the body control of the way he's in control of his game the entire time. That time he just, with his athleticism, clipped the hand of O'Bunce and drew just enough to get the whistle and head to the line.
He's got those kangaroo hops. Is that fair to say?
Hobbs with the hops.
Final 10 seconds here. 13-point difference. 5 seconds now. Woods wants a screen. Woods the fadeaway three. That's an air ball, and that will do it for the third quarter. The Greek Connect team, who led by 4 at halftime, they expanded their lead to 17 at one point, and they have a comfortable 53-40 advantage now heading into the fourth quarter of this championship game. Both Kelsey Wright Johnson and Sydney Carriel are standing by and ready to roll. Girls?
Thanks, guys. Although Greek Connect lost the rebounding battle in the first half, they've won it here in the third quarter. And heading into the fourth, Coach Gabriel says that's going to be the determining factor to win this game. And that's how they got their substantial lead back that they lost going into this one.
Point Street coaches are stressing the importance of being more physical, especially on defense. They said they need to stop letting them drive to the net, and they'll get right back in the game.
Back to you guys.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. Doing a knockout job, not just today, but all week long. It's been a fun week. Final day of the Global Basketball Summer League, the Session B Championship. Nick Anastas, Todd Benacki, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and Sydney Carriel. Not to mention all those making it possible behind the scenes, including our producer today. They call him Tiger or El Tigre. But we know him, of course, as Walter Lanier, and he's done a great job as usual. Not to mention everybody involved in the stats and the PA and the camera work. It's a full-fledged production here in Las Vegas, and it's been worth it. Good basketball all week, including in this Session B Championship where Greek Connect leads Point Streak 53-40.
Yeah, the unsung heroes are the guys behind the cameras. And a guy like Walt, he absorbs all the headaches for us throughout the week. We don't have to worry. We don't have to fret. Walt is in total control, and boy, his mind has to certainly multitask at all times and focus on what's going on. And let's give him just an absolute ton of credit throughout the week. He's made this week really look smooth, and all the great pictures and switches that you see throughout all our broadcasts, Walt Lanier is the guy behind the curtain.
Yep, he certainly is. Meanwhile, you're getting a look at team point streak. Todd, what do they need here? Final 10 minutes to erase this deficit and walk away with the crown.
Well, still within shooting range, only a 13-point separation, so point streak still has an opportunity, but those shots have got to start to fall. 10 minutes, you don't get many possessions. It's same old story. You got to, if you're point streak, hang on to the basketball, not be careless like we've seen. We know Greek Connect is going to try with their great defense to clamp down for the next 10 minutes. But point streak, it's all on the floor here. That athleticism that we saw under Darrell Armstrong has got to exhibit itself. If you're Greek Connect, hey, play that great defense. Be sound on the offensive side. Don't rush the shots and utilize everybody, and you'll walk away with this trophy.
Again, point streak looking to trap out of the full court press. And was this a foul here?
No, they got a piece of it.
Was it kicked out of bounds? Yep. I think they're going to restart the shot clock as well. Up ahead, wide open Verdue. 2-on-1. Leaves it left side for Estes, who's fouled on his way up underneath the basket.
Would you feel the breeze as Verdue raced by us here on Media Row on the near sideline? Boy, he was a fast Porsche that time, going right at it. Had a 2-on-1 break, and that's the way to set it in motion.
A lot of speed at the guard spots for Coach Gabrielle. Verdue and Hobbs, both 6-footers that can really fly. Meanwhile, Estes, he's 6'8", 6'7", I guess, officially. Former Ram out of North Carolina A&T. And he's battled hard under the backboards, but can't hit the first of 2 here at the free throw line. His club's still in front by 13. Second one coming. Big dip at the knees, and that may have made the difference. The right-hander goes 1 of 2, 14-point edge, 54-40.
So every possession's now important. You're getting towards that danger zone if you're point streak. You don't want this to stretch to 20.
Filer all the way to the rim, can't get it, and that typifies the day for sure. Tipped out, Hobbs nearly had it. It's Woods who keeps it in the front court. Woods gonna rise, can't hit the layup. And then what's this, a foul on the rebound attempt.
Quincy Skates.
Yep, called for a grab there. Foul against Greek Connect, that's their first team foul here. Just 30 seconds into the fourth quarter, 1 team foul each way.
These guards are so quick, too. We've seen it all week, Nick, that if you're a forward and all of a sudden they have the advantage, these guards, they find a way to get the contact, and you cannot be caught flat-footed down low. And Quincy Skates looking around a little perplexed on the whistle, but that little tic-tac foul, these guys know how to draw the contact and get to the line.
Woods cannot hit either free throw. Offensive rebound, though, goes to O'Bunce, and he is fouled as he hits the floor. A little bit of a growl here against Kentrell Brooks, who's not happy.
O'Bunce strong that time, out-dueled the Greek Connect player underneath in Estes, and gives himself and his team another possession.
Down 14. Woods off the crossover. Inside, he's got Curtis on the block. Head fake, leans into the shot, but misses. Verdue, the 6-foot guard, clears the glass for Greek Connect. In traffic, he's got Skates on the far wing. He thought about the shot. Instead, going to go inside to Brooks. Catch and face on the baseline. Little fadeaway up and good. Boy, he's got a pretty shot.
Yeah, great release, technically sound. Use that elbow perfectly with the bend and get it to fall.
56-40, Filer the other way, counted and 1. Boy, looked like he switched hands there, right to left hand, grabbed midair, and still banked it across the body off the glass. That's about as fine a finish as you're going to see.
Definitely, and had the confidence and the strength to get the end one opportunity. Nobody is going to question the heart and desire of the now 24-year-old Adonis Filer.
Again, he turned 24 yesterday. Wanted to hold off, though, on the celebration until tonight. And, of course, that celebration will be all the more joyful with a victory here for Point Streak. But they've got work to do. They're down 13, 56-43. Coach Gabrielle watching the offense try to avoid the trap here with 10 to shoot. Skip back near side. Hobbs, little jab, trying to free himself up. Now goes into the lane, hangs, shoots, misses back iron. Rebound goes the other way for Point Streak.
Good idea across the lane, but nobody there to rebound for Greek Connect. And another chance to make hay for Point Streak, still within range.
Down 13, Filer putting on a dribbling clinic, leaves it up top to the big man. It's Glass, but that 15-footer is short. O'Bunsden spikes it off one of the Greek Connect players. I think it was Skates, to maintain possession. However, the ball never hit the rim. The shot clock does not reset. It's still stuck at 7.
Good hustle and wherewithal, and another chance, though, for this team in Black.
Filer guarded by Hobbs, dribbles to the baseline, fadeaway, far side, line drive, no. O'Bun's offensive rebound, up, no. Tip, no. Filer, one more try, stripped on the way up, and now it's Greek Connect the other way. Purdue, 3-on-1, right side, Hobbs, hit and fouled.
Geez, great active hands by Greek Connect. They had 2, 3, 4, 5 opportunities on one offensive possession, and still Point Streak, who has to be totally frustrated throughout the entire day. They've had so many great chances, Nick. None of them have really gone down consistently.
Yep.
The Greek Connect hands have just been so incredibly active. And Linus Gabriel and company now with a 13-point lead. Their defense leading to offense, and they've expanded now to a comfortable cushion with under 8 minutes to go.
Hobbs had 7 points in the first half. He's now in double figures after that free throw. He pushes his club's lead back up to 14 at 57-43. 2 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter, and you're right, Point Streak has really struggled shooting the basketball all afternoon as they shot below 30% in that first half.
And it hasn't improved much ever since. They have only scored, 14 points here in the second half, and that's a little more than 12 minutes of basketball in the books.
15 is the lead. Filer with the handle. Step back, 3 on the way. He's got that one.
Well, we saw that right down the barrel.
Shades of yesterday where he went off in the semifinals. Hit a number of threes in that first half on his way to a 17-point first half performance.
I like him. I love his attitude. I love his effort. He's got a sweet stroke, very active. One battery, and that's 100%. I think he'll find a place somewhere.
Former Florida Atlantic standout. Meanwhile, long 3 missed this time by Greek Connect. The other way comes Point Streak. 3-pointer hurled up there by Floyd. Bridgeforth to follow, won't get it. And then the loose ball is tracked down in the far corner. Coach Armstrong frustrated here at midcourt.
Smallest guy on the floor got the rebound in the corner, and Anthony Verdure.
The lead is 12. Skip pass. Skate steps into a 3 and buries it from the near wing.
Well, that's backbreaking, isn't it? You have an opportunity to make hay for Point Streak. You don't chase a rebound in the corner. They get it. Boom, they come back and nail a 3 in your face.
The lead is 15 again. Floyd, step back, long 2. That one is a little flat. Ball tipped out of bounds. Who touched it last? Point Streak did.
That's the awful Bunce.
Well, Bunce not happy. Coach
Connect.
Armstrong and Coach George arguing from the Point Streak sidelines. But the call will stand. 3.5 gone. Fourth quarter. Greek Connect looking to close the door on this Session B championship. They lead by 15. They've got the basketball.
And the key for Greek Connect, too, they've expanded their lead here in the fourth quarter, and they've done it, Nick, without one of their best players, Jeff Kobe, who now has been inserted in. He's got fresh legs, and they're trying to put the nail in the coffin for this championship with Kobe on the floor and 6:30 to go.
Shipley has also returned to handle the rock at the point guard spot. Hobbs, who can also handle the ball, is in at the 2-guard spot, and here is Hobbs off the inbound. Against the press, he goes around. Filer dribbled off his right knee, though. Ball loose, so Bunce picks it up ahead Filer, 2-on-2. Crossover into the lane, and a foul is called as Hobbs just reached in, seemingly on purpose there to slow down the play.
And a good idea. When you have 10 fouls to use, you want to stop the action and allow an easy goal. Just reach in and handcuff his wrists and make them earn it on the inbound.
That's also just the 3rd team foul of this fourth quarter.
That's what kind of frustrates you with the 10 foul rule, is the fact that you can not value a foul with a quick reach in like that, and it really doesn't matter. You give a guy 6 or 8 fouls, all of a sudden he may think twice about reaching in just to stop the action. 61-46 with 6:28 to go, and Greek Connect, who has led throughout, they've had a great game plan. They've really executed well, and they may be well on their way to taking home this GBSL championship in 2017. It's been a great effort, well designed and executed. We still have time to go.
Off the steal. Filer across the lane, and there's Floyd with the left-hand layup. Well, Point Streak, they're not going to quit. They're working the entire 94 feet here to try and force a turnover. And that time it leads to an easy layup. 61-43. Meanwhile, Coach Gabrielle trying to direct the offense here. Shipley for Colby, 8 to shoot. Colby's bounce pass nearly taken away, but Estes keeps it. Now it's Hobbs near midcourt from 35 feet. No good off the iron. Bridgeforth the rebound, nearly stripped by Shipley. And now what's this, a whistle?
Yeah, look at a foul against Shipley.
And a foul on Shipley is correct as he's called for a reach in there after nearly bringing Bridgeforth down to the ground with him.
No credit point streak. All of a sudden their defense has ramped up a notch or two, and that's allowed them to make a good run. They're within 13 points, and they've got the possession because of those active hands. And, hey, they can chip away here, Nick. Perhaps get it down to 10 as we approach a media timeout.
Yeah, just when you thought things were safe and sound for Greek Connect, here comes Filer in point streak. Floyd, fadeaway 3. That's a real tough shot, and that won't go.
Ill-advised. His body never set, and nobody to rebound underneath.
Hobbs behind the back. Hobbs to the paint. Leaves it left side for Shipley. One more for Skates, and the 3 is in and out, no good. Colby couldn't handle it on the weak side. Ball out of bounds, back to point streak, nearing the 5-minute mark in this fourth quarter. 61-48. Coming up after the game, we'll have full post-game presentation of the, I guess, championship trophy or
pat on the back.
Yeah, or at least a couple of handshakes, and I believe we'll have the MVP announcement as well. But the big news is we'll hear live from both Coach Gabrielle and Coach Armstrong. That is coming up after the game. Timeout on the floor. It's a media timeout. 61-48, Greek Connect out in front and looking for this Session B championship here in Las Vegas.
I'd like to see some sort of traveling trophy or something that you give these teams, you know, like a claret jug or whatever you want to come up with.
Right?
Make it worth their while where they can hold on to that
right.
or something to signify their efforts throughout the week. And hand it to the coaches. You know, these guys will all scatter all over the world from here on out. But the coach who is volunteering more or less his time to come down here. And of course, you know, there's an advantage to them. They're looking for these athletes, too, to join their teams and their leagues. But they're sacrificing a lot to be here, and it'd be nice to recognize them when they win a championship.
Yeah, Coach George, he coached this point streak squad really all week. He's been alongside Darrell Armstrong here the last few days. But
Darrell Armstrong's like the figurehead, so to speak. You know, if you think of him as the king, the prime minister, or the guy that does all the dirty work, is Ricky Cleveland George. Is that fair?
That's fair. I don't know if Darrell's a figurehead, though. I mean, Armstrong, he's been putting in his own work. I think he's broken a sweat a long time ago.
Yeah, but he didn't coach yesterday, so does it really count if you've only been here 2 out of the 3 days?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. He'll join us courtside, win or lose, following the game. All right, still another 5 minutes. Anything can happen here. 61-48. Point streak trailing with the basketball. Floyd rises. 18-footer won't go, and there's Colby, who wrestles it away from his own teammate for the Greek Connect rebound. Now Shipley is fouled as he's ridden by Bridgeforth here at midcourt.
Well, Brian didn't get back in time, and you got a big guy near midcourt with a speedy guard, and that's a mismatch, and a little bump is going to go against Brian every time.
Meanwhile, Floyd has come out of the point streak lineup. Looks like Woods is back on. So it's Filer and Woods at the guards for the black team, point streak. Meanwhile, Estes is fouled. Went right into the lane, flicked it up with the right hand, but couldn't get it. Coach Armstrong again upset. Foul on O'Bunce. 4 team fouls each way as we now cross inside of 5 minutes, fourth quarter. 61-48, Greek Connect.
Kind of an unsung hero. He and Jeff Colby, a nice 1-2 punch, and they kind of help and feed off each other. When both are on the court, that's a dangerous duo for Coach Gabrielle and company. And Anthony Estes didn't get it to fall, but a couple of free throw chances.
Free throw up and in.
I like this team. They're fun. They play a spirited game with solid defense, and they've got a lot of activity, a pretty deep bench. Some big-time players, and this holds. This is a well-deserved championship run.
And again, well coached, especially when you consider the fact that these guys did not know each other just days ago.
3 days ago.
To see them come out and play well is got to be a treat for Coach Gabrielle and a rewarding experience for him as well. O'Bunce, a little high arcer, up and in, far baseline. 12-point game again at 62-50. And with that, the shot clock is going to be altered.
Chuck O'Bunn, 6'5", 235. Kind of a swing man that can do a lot. Strong upper body. We've seen him crash against the trees underneath the goal with that physical play, and that time showed the soft, deft touch with the 17-footer from the left baseline.
Shipley runs into Woods, no contact,
Try to draw
no
a
foul.
Good no call by the officials.
Yeah. Estes, one dribble in the lane, looks underneath to Kobe, who is fouled. O'Bunce went over his right shoulder. That's got Coach Armstrong upset, but Kobe will shoot two.
And still 2 more games to go. A little anticlimactic, but we'll give out 3rd place and 5th place later today with French Pro-Am versus the Canada Stars coming up next. And then Finnish Select will battle Windsor Express out of Canada. That'll be for 5th place.
Kobe's first up and in. I think the idea of kind of sticking the championship in the middle was to attract maybe a larger crowd, given that if it's the last day, players, coaches, they might take off early if they're not playing. But with 2 more games still to go, you've got more of an influx of folks here, and I think that explains it.
Yeah, and we've also shifted the games a half hour. It is getaway day, so allow everybody to kind of get to the airport and give you some time to travel and get home safe tonight.
3-pointer, far side, that's an air ball for Pomley. Kept alive, though, by O'Buns, who fades to his left with the shot. No. Bridgeforth, no. Filer, interception. Filer to the cup, and a big slam, but the whistle first, it won't count. Boy, Filer just released some pent-up aggression, it looked like there, as he cocked that one back. But a whistle first, and the crew chief, Robert Hussey, trying to figure out what's what with his colleagues here. Let's see what the call is. They are going to count it. And a foul coming against Estes, so I thought they waved it off initially, Todd.
Yeah, it looked like they did.
They are going to count it. So Filer adds to his point total. He was the only man in double figures on either team at the half with 10. Now Coach Gavriel coming.
So they counted the dues, huh?
Coming over to midcourt. He wants an explanation with Robert Hussey. So there we're hearing straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, the crew chief saying that, well, they got the wrong guy at the line then if they're going to count the bucket. O'Bunce is the one who just hit the free throw, yet it was Filer who threw it down. Strange. Anyway, 11 is the lead for Greek Connect. They're trying to hang on and clinch the title. We're inside of 4 minutes. Estes up top, underneath Kobe, spin move, and a foul as the shot goes wide. No, a travel. Well, the pivot foot,
cost him.
right, was not quite planted there, and that is a turnover. We've seen the defensive intensity rise here in the 4th quarter for Point Streak, and that has kept them in this game, Todd. Down only 11 with the ball. Chance to make it a single-digit game for the first time since early on in the 2nd half. Filer into a crowd, leaves it for Curtis. 10 to shoot. Curtis on the near baseline wants to go at Vines. Gives him an up fake, leans into the shot. It's short. Kobe with the rebound, and there's the defensive stop that Greek Connect wanted. Hobbs now will slow it down as he walks into the front court. One eye on the scoreboard and the clock, which reads 3:10 and counting. 10 to shoot now. Vines for Estes. Got some size down low. Trying to spin. Skips it far side. Shipley steps into a 3. Around the rim and out. Ball tipped once, twice. Far side. Point Streak has it. Tracked down by Curtis. Now it's Woods who escapes a double team. Woods is then fouled by Shipley. Got his left hand caught up in the defender. That is the 6th team foul now against Greek Connect. We're inside of 3 minutes.
Smart foul, too, that time from Greek Connect. Otherwise, it's a 3-on-1 break to the opposite end. And look who was lurking. Brian Bridgeforth. I think he was having his sights set on a potential jam to bring them not only back, but an energy lifter. And instead, they'll have to earn it on this next possession and a timeout on the floor.
64-53. Greek Connect, led by Coach Linos Gavriel, looking for the Session B championship. Coach Daryl Armstrong hoping that his guys can find a way to make it a historic comeback here. Down 11 with 2:52 to go in the fourth quarter. Nick Anastas, Todd Bonneke, Kelsey Wright-Johnson, Sydney Carriel here. We will hear from both head coaches after the game, which is always a treat, Todd.
Definitely, and we'll also get the presentation of the champion just as we did in the opening session. Session A, Finnish Select, a team coached by a man out of Helsinki, Finland. They hoisted the championship trophy. It was a nice little celebration midcourt in Session A as they, kind of just enjoyed the moment and something to brag about and put on their resume that they came here to Vegas and helped lift this team to something special.
Of course, there'll be an MVP presentation as well. We had co-MVPs from Session A. We'll find out what the story is with Session B as well. So a ceremony, a mini ceremony, I suppose.
There also is an all-tournament team announced, but I think that's kind of post-facto.
That might be later,
yeah.
right.
Stay tuned, huh?
Right, we'll try and get you stats as well. And again, we'll hear live from Coach Armstrong and Coach Gabrielle. There's a three. Filer, it's down to 8. Again, Blinken, you missed it. Great Connect, led by as many as 17 early. Their lead has been sliced to just 8. Shot clock never started. 2:34, so Greek Connect only with 5 seconds to get it over the line here. This pressure has really made a difference, I think, over the last few minutes. Here's a foul, though. Filer got his arm caught up with Hobbs, and that'll be team foul number 6. Filer now with 5.
That time. He just went right after the ball, got a piece of the hand. You got to be smart.
And Filer with his 5th. Vines looking to get it in for Verdue. Barely did. Back to Vines. Hobbs, left side. They have numbers, but they want to run clock. Pulled out. Estes will swing it, and now Verdue trying to keep it away from Filer with 10 to shoot. Goes around Filer left hand, lost his footing, and there's a foul here on O'Buns, who tripped him up a little bit there. 17 fouls against Point Streak. Again, we shoot at 10. That's the magic number, 10 allowed.
So you still
on
got
the team
2 to
side.
give.
Yep, in each quarter. So 2 to give with 2:14 to go. Verdue.
Travel.
Left side, Vines, yep, or he dribbled out of bounds, actually.
Either the toe was out of bounds or his heel was out of bounds or the
ball was,
traveled.
I think. Yep. Either way, Point Streak ball, and all of a sudden a chance to make it a 2-possession game. It was looking like it was over just minutes ago.
Yeah, if you're Greek Connect, it comes back to that little adage, you hate to take the foot off the accelerator too early. If you do it, all of a sudden a team like Point Streak can get right back in it.
2 minutes. Filer, 10 to shoot, double teamed. Gonna dribble out of it and draw a foul. Verdue kind of undercut him there with the left hand, reached in. He's called for the push, and now 17 fouls each way.
Didn't have to reach either. I thought he had good position. Let Adonis go to work. There's no reason to attempt for steals. I know you want to still be very active with the hands, but be smart.
Shot clock reset to 14. Minute 55 to go. 84-56. Greek Connect trying to hold on to the lead. Filer splits the defenders. Steps up. Woods for 3. It's up and in. 5-point game. 64-59. Vines looking to attack now against the press. Left side. Kobe stripped on his way up. Out of bounds it goes. It'll stay with Greek Connect. It was Bridgeforth who got a piece.
Kobe going up. I thought he was going to go to the reverse layup, and instead they say knocked it off his own leg apparently. And Bridgeforth with the active hands did a great job, and Point Streak is taken over on the turnover.
Down only 5 with 100 seconds remaining. Woods, who hit one a moment ago, comes into the front court. Looks at Coach Jackson, or Armstrong, excuse me. Wants a ball screen. Whips it left side. O'Bunce. High arcer. Short. Big defensive rebound for Kobe.
Not the shot you want on that possession if you're Point Streak. O'Bunce with a tough angle. Man in his face. Early in the shot clock, he forced it.
Verdue blindly throws it up for Vines, who is fouled on the shot. Scooper wouldn't go, but he was hacked across the forearm and will shoot 2. Clock frozen with 1:16. Let's check in with Sydney. Sydney.
Throughout the fourth quarter, Point Streak's coaches keep reminding the guys to play simple and gel together. They told them stop shooting bad shots and find the open man. They're still in this, guys, and they need to rebound and play a little harder on defense, and they've cut the lead. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sydney. Free throw good. 6-point game. This is a big one here. Difference between 2 and 3 possessions. And Vines can't get it. Rattles in and out. Rebound for Bridgeforth.
Reconnect, giving this Point Streak team opportunity after opportunity.
Yep.
We're far from over.
Filer off the ball screen. Leaves his feet. Fires. No good. Back iron. Ball tip. Far corner. Out of bounds. It'll stay here. 1:01 to go. I think, yeah, you're right. Right off his left shoulder. So down 6. Coach Armstrong waving his right arm, trying to direct traffic here. His team has a fresh 24. Filer, Hobbs on him, wants a ball screen. Now a step back 3 is up, no, but a foul, and that is not a good close out there by Holmes, the defender, who's tagged with the personal.
Boy, Brighton Hobbs, no way do you challenge that, and yeah, that step back fooled him that time, and he flew towards the defender, got a piece of the arm. These guys have been frustrated all week, I think, with these tight whistles and the little touch fouls.
But yeah, but that one was obvious.
Well, sure, and you got to stay within your own self, and that was not a wise play by Brighton Hobbs, despite the fact that he doesn't agree with them. Now, all of a sudden, you're under a minute to go, and this can get down to what, a one-possession game.
Yeah, a chance to cut the lead in half if he goes 3 for 3, and Filer has been excellent at the free throw line. He made 6 in that first half, and he makes 2 here to make it 65-61. Still 1 more to go. 57 seconds to go in the Session B championship game. This would be quite the comeback story. They trailed by as many as 17 in the second half, 13 to begin the quarter. And now a timeout by Coach Gabrielle as he's got a bad feeling about this one. 57 seconds to go. Filer hits all 3, and the difference is just 3 at 65-62.
Well, they haven't been smart here in the last couple of minutes, and they've kind of let the foot off that accelerator, Nick, and it's cost them, at least for the moment. He wants an important possession, and that's why he's called a timeout. They have an opportunity here to get back to that 2-possession lead with maybe under 40 seconds or so to go, but it comes down to good execution, and I think he's challenging the guys right now in the huddle who wants the ball and who wants to finish this game and figure out a way to win. He's reminding them that they've had the lead the entire game, and all it takes is good concentration now for 57 seconds, and they'll get out of here with the title.
Nick Anastas, Todd Bonneke, Kelsey Wright-Johnson, Sydney Carriel. We are live here in Las Vegas at the Doolittle Convention Center. It's been a fun week. The final day of the Global Basketball Summer League here in 2017. Session A was decided back on Sunday. Session B wraps up today. This is the championship round. And it's been quite a story for Point Streak in this second half. They looked like they were dead in the water through 3 quarters, down by as many as 17. They trailed by 13 to begin the fourth. And yet here they are alive and well, thanks in part to the full court pressure, really, Todd, that has helped them trim this gap to just 3 points.
Yeah, they've been more active in talking and communicating defensively, and they know they have to. It's the only chance they had to crawl back into this game is figure out a way to frustrate Reconnect. Reconnect, this is a vital possession.
In it comes. Verdue, guarded by Woods. Brings it left side, right-hand dribble. Woods up in his pockets, trying to cross him over. Second defender comes over. Kobe now off the bounce pass, 10 to shoot. Back to Verdue, near side. Gets the step, little leaner, won't go off the bank. Tip no by Kobe, but he's fouled. The Columbia Lion knocked to the ground after getting his right hand on the basketball. He will shoot 2. Both teams are in the bonus. Clock stopped with 39 seconds remaining. Big free throws coming for the 6'8 center. A chance to make this a 2-possession game again.
His solid basketball IQ. He knew he laid off the pass, crashed the boards, and that instinct took over for Jeff Kobe. And because of that, he went right after that loose ball. He went right around the body of the Point Streak defender and drew the contact. And his team up 3 now, a chance for this veteran to give his team a little more breathing room, although we're far from over with 38 seconds to go.
Coach Gabrielle talking to his bench. Meanwhile, a slight delay as the officials try and mop up the wet spot where Kobe landed a moment ago. Meanwhile, there's a 14-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Again, 38 seconds remain, a little over, 38.6 here at the Doolittle Center.
A lot of perspiration late in the game. You know, it's this dry heat, though, out here. You don't see a lot of people sweating in Las Vegas unless you're a big-time whale of a blackjack player, maybe in the casino. A lot of sweating going on inside. But this dry heat, you just don't sweat much out here.
Free throw is good. That's a big one. Two-possession game. It's 66-62 and one more for Kobe. Greek Connect hoping to hang on. They've led most of the game with the exception of the opening minutes. Free throw, no good there. Rebound, Filer, clock ticking, down to 30 seconds. Filer around Vines, runs into Kobe. It's a blocking foul.
Man.
Kobe was hoping for the charge. Point streak. May have gotten away with a break there.
I think they did, at least from my vantage point. Toughest whistle, and every official will tell you, won't they, that block charge official. I don't care what level it's at. It's the toughest call.
Yep. And you also know that somebody's not going to be happy no matter which way you roll it.
It's a 50-50 whistle
Right.
a lot of the times. And most of the times it's just by experience of that particular official that draws the whistle in one way or the other. You're right. Bad break for Greek Connect. I thought they did everything right to draw the charge on that play. I even thought Filer was a little out of control as he crashed in towards those big trees. But nice break for Darrell Armstrong's club and makes it a lot more interesting.
And a related point, the officiating I think has been excellent. Not only today, but really all week long. I'm sure George Oliver and the rest of the guys in the NBA officiating office have been pleased with what they've seen here really since Friday.
You like the communication, as I alluded to earlier, too. A whistle blows. They take the time to not only explain why to the player, but the sideline and the bench and the coaches. So everybody kind of learns, if you will, from every situation.
Filer can't hit the free throw. It'll stay a 4-point game. 66-62, 30 seconds to go. One more still for Filer, and he's got to get this one.
Every point matters.
The right-hander from Florida Atlantic does get the friendly roll. 66-63, point streak, going to set up the full court press, but Coach Gabrielle is going to have a chance to draw something up on the sideline as he calls for a timeout. 66-63, down the stretch they come. It's been fun. It looked like this one was going to be a Greek Connect, perhaps blowout, as they led big in the second half, but you know Coach Armstrong wasn't going to let his guys relax down by double digits.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to waltz to the winner's circle, didn't it? Greek Connect really playing solid for 3.5 quarters. And they let up a little bit. Point streak ramped up their efforts a whole lot. And just like the old adage, everything tightens when you do that, put together that formula, Nick. And it's really mattered. Point streak not giving up. They fought hard. For Greek Connect, 30 seconds to go, and they're going to try to execute. Meanwhile, if your point streak, extend this game as long as you can, although right now they only have one timeout at their expense on the other side. Greek Connect has just utilized their final timeout, and both teams will be shooting 2 free throws in the final 30 seconds. So it may come down to a free throw shooting contest.
Which I'm sure would please our colleague Nick Mattis because he's been stressing the importance of the free throw line all week. All right, ball comes in, and we expect a quick foul. There it is, given by Filer, who gets Kobe from behind. About 2.5 seconds went off the clock. We're at 27-7. Kobe, who just went 1 for 2 a moment ago, right back at the stripe. Reminder, after the game, post-game celebration festivities. We'll hear live from Coach Gabrielle and head coach Darrell Armstrong, and hopefully get you some official final statistics as well as a recap, all coming up post-game here at the Session B Championship in Las Vegas.
Kelsey
One more
Sydney.
to come, and he's got it.
Kelsey and Sydney are doing a great job, and they're standing by for the post-game show.
Yep. 5-point game. In it comes to Woods, 25 seconds. Woods has to hurry. He's got Verdue on him. Left-hand drive, leaves it underneath. Not a clean catch and not a clean finish there. Rejected. Up ahead, Holmes. Holmes trying to race out the clock, and he's fouled from behind by Filer.
And now Greek Connect can start to smell a winner's circle. Good opportunity for point streak. They're not going to get many. A fumble on a pass underneath. That allowed Jeff Kobe to recover defensively, get a piece of that shot, block it away, and send his team the other way on transition.
This guy's played well, too, hasn't he? This is
Brighton Hobbs.
Yeah, I mean, he's
This
first
has
of
been
all
a
a
team
pro
effort.
from Australia,
Yeah.
but he's made some plays beginning really in the first quarter, and now a chance to help his team close it out with 12.7 to go in the fourth. 69-63 after the make, one more coming.
They're all giving a great effort. Cameron Vines, Estes, Kobe. We can go up and down this roster. This has been a great team effort for Greek Connect.
In and out for Hobbs, who then gives the foul after the Bridgeforth rebound. He wraps up Filer. Hobbs did commit that ill-advised foul earlier on the three-point shot that allowed Filer to hit three. This one is going to send Filer to the line and stop the clock as well. So not a great foul here either on Hobbs, but other than that, he's going to be pretty happy with his performance, I think. We'll get you his stats as we mentioned after the game.
Just tremendous energy. He and Verdure are a pretty good duo in that backcourt. And yeah, they've been a joy to watch today. Even if he makes them both, it's still a two-possession game with 10.5 seconds to go. And the idea for Greek Connect right here is hold on to that basketball, don't turn it over, and knock down those foul shots, and you'll get away with the victory.
Filer hits two. He's played well, even if it ends up being in defeat. 69-65, 10 seconds. Long outlet, Estes is fouled. Hit by Glass, who slapped his left arm. Again, both teams are in the bonus. 2 free throws coming. 9 seconds even remaining on the fourth quarter clock.
Solid effort. That's all you can say. Linos Gabriel's game plan has been a joy to watch, and his team has blossomed under it and executed more or less throughout 40 minutes today.
Estes trying to add a little bit of a cushion here to now a 5-point lead. It's 70-65. And here's a guy who's battled on both ends of the glass as well. Estes, the 6'7" forward, who got the start at center. He's going to knock down the second. 2-for-2 trip. 71-65. 5 seconds. Filer, long desperation heave. It won't go. The rebounder Verdue. There'll be no foul, and that will do it. The Session B championship of this Global Basketball Summer League goes to Greek Connect and head coach Linos Gavriel. It's sweet redemption for Coach Gavriel, who went winless in Session A, but he guides his team to a perfect 3-0 record in Session B to beat head coach Darrell Armstrong in point streak. 71-65, the final score. Point streak unable to erase a 17-point deficit in the second half, although they came close, cutting the margin to just 3 with inside of 2 minutes to go. But in the end, you got to credit the guys in white for getting the job done. Jeff Kobity and company, Cameron Vines, we mentioned Estes' name a lot, Hobbs, Powell, you name it, these guys played well, and they are going to celebrate tonight a Session B championship.
I don't know if we give back a comeback coach of the year award this week, but a guy that went 0-3 in the first session and bounced back with a perfect 3-0, Nick, in the second session certainly deserves some props and some accolades. He found the right bunch. He drafted this team earlier in Session B, and it's all worked to fruition, and I like the way that they've all come together. This was an absolute team effort, and it's going to be awfully tough to find a player of the game or even a tournament MVP. Just like the first, we may have co-MVPs in Session B. Solid team effort, joy to watch, and we wish these guys the best in their futures.
Awaiting final stats, awaiting Coach Gavriel and his crew as they assemble at midcourt with our very own Kelsey Wright Johnson. We'll get you that interview in just a moment. We also hope to hear from head coach Darrell Armstrong of the losers, the Point Street Club, the runners-up, I should say, as they went, of course, 2-0 to play in the championship game today. All right, just about set to go. Kelsey is surrounded by players, and Coach Gavriel, of course, and is now ready for the interview.
All right, Jeff Covey, congratulations on getting co-MVP of this game. It was a hard-fought battle the entire game. You guys had the big lead going into the half, almost lost it here at the end, but were able to stay on top. What does your team credit to this victory?
Just staying composed and playing together. Coach preaches it in our practices, and we just came out here and executed, and it was great.
Getting the co-MVP and also winning the championship at a showcase like this in Las Vegas, can you put into words what it means to you?
It's an honor. I was around a great group of guys, and it was really fun, and a great coach. Sorry, not to mention.
Talking about the coach now, Coach, we spoke before the game about how winning this championship would have a special place in your heart, having Darrell Armstrong there on the other bench. Yeah. Can you tell me what is going through your mind right now?
Okay, first of all, it's all about the kids. I think they did a great effort. It's all about them coming here and playing hard. Really, I I told them after the first win, and they know it, they can say it, that I'm coaching for 15 years, thank God, in a high level, and nobody played hard like them, and that's what's important. Now about Daryl, I told you I was like 10, 11 years old. I have a poster on my bed, about my bed, so it's big to win him, especially now that he's an NBA coach. But like I said, it's all about the guys. I am excited to work with them these 3 days, and I'm going to try to help them in the future take a job and do well.
All right, congratulations, guys. I'm going to send it back now to Todd, Nick, and of course, the Dallas Mavericks' own Darrell Armstrong. Guys?
Gabrielle, and we expected him to be classy there with his answer, and it's, as we mentioned, got to be good for him on a personal level after going winless in Session A.
How do you be more proud than what we saw from Linos Gabriel and his team in this second half of this event? He found the right bunch. It all came together for him. And you just look at the smiles on their faces. They're excited to be here, Nick. Number one, they're all hoping for professional contracts, but a little cherry on top of that sundae makes it a little extra sweet.
Sure
the fact
does.
that they take home some sort of prize and something that they can put on that resume, something they can brag about. They have now bragging rights from the Global Basketball Summer League, and they made some friendships and forged some good relationships here this week, and hopefully it'll work in their favor as they march on to the future.
Well, unfortunately, Todd, I think your headset's about to get hijacked because we don't have an extra microphone,
well,
unfortunately. So let's bring in now former NBA standout, the former Sixth Man of the Year, the former most improved player in the NBA, and now current Dallas Mavericks assistant coach, Darrell Armstrong. Coach, good run for sure here in the tournament. Your guys did not quit. You were down 17 at one point in that second half. You cut it down to 3. Just couldn't quite get over the margin, but I'm sure you're happy with the way your team gave an effort, a max effort there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and you know, that's half the battle. You know, we just didn't play well from the beginning. We came out lackadaisical and not executing, missing layups. It was a frustrating game to see guys have the opportunity to maybe shine again today, and they didn't. And but like you said, they didn't quit. And a lot of times, sometimes you can come back and win games like that, but sometimes you can't. So, but you know, it was a great opportunity for these guys to get out here and play in the championship game and give themselves a chance to win it.
What were some of the positives, though? Maybe not just from your team, but from some of these other teams here in Session B that you've been able to see the last few days?
Well, I mean, they get a chance to play in front of you know, scouts, you know, overseas scouts. For me, that's a positive right there because you want to be seen. You want to know that your work and the work ethic that you have put in to every day when you practice is being seen, and you have the opportunity to get looked at and maybe have a chance to go overseas somewhere. So that's the positive to me for a lot of these guys because, you know, behind closed doors, you just don't know how some guys work so hard to maybe get an opportunity, maybe get a chance, even if it's just one scout to take a look at them, to have the opportunity to showcase their talent. And to me, that's a positive for all these kids out here. I've been in a situation where I had to go through a tryout like this and be seen by, you know, coaches and scouts and things like that. And fortunately for me, it worked out for me because I had the opportunity to not only go overseas, but get in the NBA Summer League basketball camps and took advantage of it and made the most out of it and got 14 years as a player. And then also, this is my 10th year coming up as a coach in this league, in the NBA. So for me, it's always good for me to come back here and just give back and give thoughts because a lot of times these guys is trying to learn this game even more as they leave their college career and try to move on to the next level of the basketball career.
Final question, Coach. Now that the event is basically wrapped up, I know we still have 2 more games to go here in Session B, but what would be your overall advice to some of these guys leaving Las Vegas?
Well, I mean, my advice to them is, you know, a lot of these guys come out here and you know, even when, like I said, when I was trying out for teams, whether they're a minor league team, a lot of these guys try to come out here and just think it's about scoring the basketball. And you know what? It's just like being in summer camp or NBA summer camp. You got to come out here and do something to show these coaches that you can shine on the defensive end to me. Then you got to show them that you can play the offensive end. You know, for me, a lot of guys come out here, they kill themselves because all they do is shoot, shoot, shoot. And that's not what it's about. Especially when you go overseas, you're going to have to do everything. Shoot, pass, play defense, coach.
Right.
I mean, you're going to have to do all of it because that's what they look for you to do. And, you know, for me as a leader, you know, you have to do all those things in order to, you know, showcase your talent. And like I say, sometimes guys kill themselves because all they do is try to do is score and score and score. And especially with NBA teams don't need that. The team needs you to know how to run a system. And even in this league, for overseas teams, they need to know that you can run a system and run a team instead of, you know, always trying to look to score the basketball, because running a team is so much important that guys sometimes overlook that. That's the leadership of a point guard. That's the leadership of players. And if you can do that, you can definitely play in any league that you want to, especially at the point guard position.
Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's again Coach Darrell Armstrong of Point Streak. Unfortunately for Darrell, they fall 71-65 in the Session B championship round. For Tom Banacki, Kelsey Wright Johnson, and Sidney Carriel, my name is Nick Anastas saying so long from Las Vegas. This has been a presentation of the Global Basketball Summer League on Global Basketball TV.